ignorant. I mean, really.
I'm afraid you're economically ignorant on this point.
Tonight on Hannity and Colmes, the president has faced sex scandals before, but nothing compared to the one that's brewing now. Juanita Broderick says the president raped her, and after lying in our faces once before, can his denials be believed?
And then the president has enjoyed a but these latest allegations could change all that. We may never know what really happened in that hotel room 21 years ago, but will women ever look at Bill Clinton the same way again?
Those debates and your calls are 2 minutes away.
But first, let's get the latest headlines from the Fox News Desk.
Hello everyone, I'm Todd Connor. There's been another snag in the world campaign to bring the suspected Lockerbie plane bombers to justice. America and Britain demanded Libyan leader Muammar Gaddafi hand over the two men within a month for trial in a Scottish court. But now Gaddafi claims the World Court in The Hague as the right place to try them. The Pan Am explosion and crash in 1988 killed 270 people, including 198 Americans. Yasser Arafat apparently isn't backing down from his dream of a Palestinian state. Palestinian sources say Arafat and President Clinton will discuss the issue when they meet next month. It's one of the big problems that's stopping the Wye River peace agreement from being carried out successfully. A Florida jury wants one of America's top black ministers to go from pulpit to prison cell. The Reverend Henry Lyons was convicted of racketeering and grand theft today. The defense moved for a mistrial, claiming evidence a juror improperly discussed the case outside the court. The motion was denied. Lyons' lawyers may now appeal.
It appears as though there was some validity to it, and unless someone out there has a crystal ball or some ultimate extraterrestrial powers that we don't know about, to say that they were struggling with the fact of convicting Bernice Edwards and Dr. Lyons, I think it speaks mounds of the fact that there certainly may be some validity to it, certainly some that's worthy of us investigating and looking into.
Lyons now faces up to 7 years in prison for swindling $4 million from companies seeking business with his National Baptist Convention. The president is being followed by protesters almost everywhere he goes these days. Angry people showed up at Clinton stops in Tucson, San Francisco, Los Angeles, and now today in Salt Lake City. Meanwhile, the president's lawyer says Juanita Broderick's charges against Clinton are false. Next update at the bottom of the hour.
Welcome back to our special 2-hour edition of Hannity and Colmes. I'm Sean Hannity. Alan and I are going to be with you live till 11 o'clock tonight. Up first, his affair with Monica Lewinsky looks like child's play compared to the allegations raised by Juanita Broderick. While the cable talk shows go into overdrive, it's just business as usual at the White House. Unbelievable. Fox News Channel's Wendell Goler, he brings the story.
With new scandal storm clouds gathering over Washington, the president left on a 6-day trip starting in sunny Tucson with a speech on Social Security and Medicare and the post-impeachment budget debate he's looked forward to for months.
Thank goodness we now have a surplus. We're in the second year of surpluses, and we project that on average we'll have them for at least another 25 years.
The day before, television viewers saw Juanita Broderick claim Mr. Clinton assaulted her, and they saw him brush aside the allegation.
My counsel has made a statement about the first issue, and I have nothing to add to it.
There were no other scandal-related questions in the 50-minute news conference Mr. Clinton conducted with the president of Ghana, a sign that just 2 weeks after the Senate declined to remove him from office, things may be headed back to normal. The White House has attacked Broderick's claim without addressing the details.
I think it's a sad day when news organizations follow the lead of internet and talk radio and some of the parts thereof.
Helen Thomas, the dean of the White House press corps, says for several reasons Ms. Broderick's story is unlikely to get the attention Monica Lewinsky's did.
The fact that the special prosecutor didn't deal with it, the 2 FBI investigators said it was inconclusive, that the House Judiciary Committee didn't touch it, I think it comes in a little late for the media to be the judge and prosecutor and jury.
The president's near silence on Juanita Broderick's allegations is part of a strategy of not fueling the story with comments. He'd like attention over Monica Lewinsky to die down as well. So aides say don't ask him about Lewinsky's Barbara Walters interview next week. Mr. Clinton won't be watching. At the White House, Wendell Goler, Fox News.
So is a no-comment strategy going to work for the White House, or do we need to hear more from the presidents? Joining us in Washington, Fox News political analyst and Newsweek contributing editor Eleanor Clift, the great one, Mark Levin, president of the Landmark Legal Foundation, and we expect momentarily to be joined in Los Angeles by former advisor to President Clinton and Fox News political analyst Dick Morris. That's all coming up. All right, Eleanor, all right, here's the strategy. You know what I think the biggest story today is? Biggest story is last night on national TV, the President of the United States of America was accused of rape, and there's not more outrage and a demand by the American people that he respond to this. Now, I'm going to tell you something. If anyone accused Sean Hannity of rape and I was innocent, I'd be on my rooftop screaming about my innocence, and this, you know, no comment, go to my attorney. Why doesn't he explain that that's not true? I guess because it's not believable anymore?
First of all, the word rape never passed her lips, and I believe that she has used the term sexual assault.
Can I correct you? Because in the interview, Lisa Myers said, are you saying he raped you? And she said yes, absolutely.
She didn't say the word rape and has not used the word rape up until this point. Now, that's a fine point. But this is something that went on between two people 21 years ago. What went on, and I'm not questioning her memory or her recollection, but it is her memory and her recollection. And what actually went on is unknowable and unprovable, and the president is behaving exactly correctly, letting an attorney respond and going about the business of the American people.
All right, here's one of the questions we have to raise is the consistency of the feminist movement and women on the left. And throughout this hour, I'm going to put up more stills of so-called women in the feminist movement. We'll start with Hillary Rodham Clinton, who said we owed a debt of gratitude to Anita Hill. She said of Miss Hill that she transformed the consciousness and changed history with her courageous testimony during the Thomas confirmation hearings. Wow. And she further went on, all women who care about equality of opportunity, about integrity and morality in the workplace are in Professor Anita Hill's debt, and I am pleased to share the platform with her today. I wonder if she feels the same way about Juanita Broderick.
I'm sure she does feel differently about Juanita Broderick. I'm sure she feels the same about Anita Hill. It was a very different situation. Anita Hill testified in hearings discussing Clarence Thomas's qualifications to take a lifetime job. He went on and got that job. The country believed Clarence Thomas, didn't believe Anita Hill, but many people in this country, especially women, were offended by the way this all-male panel grilled Miss Hill. And that is what fueled a lot of women running for office and what made her something of an icon to women.
Before we hear from my friend Mark Levin, I'd like to welcome to the proceedings Dick Morris, former advisor to President Clinton, joining us from Los Angeles tonight.
Good. Well, hey, I've been following the show for the last couple of minutes, and I think the salient point here is that if you're going to be a sexual predator, be pro-choice.
Bingo.
It's the only way the feminist
Dick, you know President Clinton on a personal basis more than anybody else sitting here tonight. Is Bill Clinton a rapist?
Well, it's very hard for me to believe that that could possibly be true because, you know, I mean, it's such a stretch. On the other hand, I have to tell you, I didn't believe Paula Jones, and I didn't believe Kathleen Willey, and their stories are pretty credible, and Bill Clinton forked over a third of his net worth to Paula Jones, and you don't do that for a lie. So I think that Bill Clinton owes us an explanation of where he was at. I think Bill Clinton owes the country an explanation of where he was.
Is Bill Clinton the man you know capable of committing an act of rape?
I was saying, Alan, I think that Bill Clinton owes the country an explanation of where he was on April 25th, 1978.
But I'm asking you, the man you know, do you think he's capable of committing that kind of an act?
The guy I know, no way. But my whole point about Clinton, Alan, is that there are two Clintons. The one I know is the Sunday morning Clinton. God knows what Saturday Night Bill is capable of. I wouldn't have said that he's capable of molesting a person in the Oval Office. I wouldn't have said he's capable of dropping his pants to a total stranger who's a state employee. And I wouldn't have said he's capable of rape. I would have said he's capable of Monica Lewinsky and Jennifer Flowers. That's straight vanilla adultery.
Mark Levin, what do you hope to accomplish here? Another impeachment trial?
You know, I've got to say, that's a pretty pathetic question. What do I hope to accomplish here? I'm not behind this. It's not a right-wing conspiracy. A lady who supported Bill Clinton 21 years ago wanted to work in his campaign. She alleges rape. And what are you talking about?
You automatically believe any charge against Bill Clinton.
Let me ask you something. What do you hope to accomplish by diverting attention from allegations that have been made grasping every phony excuse that the White House leaks to the media. You know, she came to a fundraiser 3 weeks later. So suddenly, she, the 4 corroborating witnesses, her husband, her son, it's all a big lie. They're the best liars in the world.
Take a break.
When we get back, Mark.
We will take a break. We'll come back. Also, we'll open up our toll-free telephone lines at 1-888-TEL-FOX. We're glad you're with us on this special edition of Hannity and Colmes, and we will continue.
It's Saturday night. Do you know what your money's doing? Janice does. Janice is working the phones, checking up on an investment in a new restaurant chain. Every Saturday night, Janice calls 20 or 30 of them in different states to make sure they're as busy as they projected. Janice keeps the heat on a company even after the money's invested. Is your money pushing the right buttons? Get there. Janice Mutual Funds.
Start something special.
In a car commercial, you expect to see some fine print. Well, here's some of the finest darn print you'll ever see. Right now, get 2.9% financing on all 99 Oldsmobiles. Start something special at your Oldsmobile dealer now.
You want to use the internet to plan a vacation. Why let America Online try to sell you everything else? No thanks. There is a choice. Prodigy Internet. If what you really want is unlimited internet and email, Prodigy will get you there in just one click. Go directly to the mountain and skip AOL's pop-up ads. Sign up for Prodigy Internet now and get 50% off for 3 months. That's only $9.95 a month. Get on, get what you need, and go do something with it. There is a choice. Call 1-800-PRODIGY.
Power. You want to make the right choices. We give you the power to decide for yourself. Power. 24 hours, 7 days a week. Nobody gives you more original live programming. The power of news to keep you up to date. Shows that go in-depth. Issues in context. Topics that matter to you. The power of Fox News Channel. News and information, fair and balanced. The most powerful name in news. Fox News Channel. We report, you decide.
Ahead for Evander Holyfield, the most important fight of his life. A special behind-the-scenes look at the champ in training. Then, gambling and college hoops. With March Madness about to strike, how bad is the epidemic? And down and out in L.A., can Dennis Rodman pump up the deflated Lakers? Join Brian Kilmeade and Wally Matthews Sunday for Fox on Sports.
Welcome back to Hannity and Colmes. I'm Alan Colmes. He's survived Jennifer Flowers, Paula Jones, and Monica Lewinsky, but can Bill Clinton survive Juanita Broderick? And Mark Levin, you just accused my side of grabbing onto every White House spin, but you seem to want to grab onto every negative statement, every allegation about Bill Clinton without asking the tough questions. I think there are a lot of questions we have to ask. I'm not either accepting or not accepting her story. I'm very troubled by it. We've talked about this before, but isn't it legitimate to ask why she waited 21 years, why she went to a pro-Clinton rally 3 weeks later, why she didn't remember the day or month that this happened? These are legitimate questions, aren't they, Mark?
They are legitimate, but you skew them by not reporting or stating also that she came forward involuntarily, only when she was compelled as a result of the criminal process. She did the interview only after people were leaking stuff that they read in the Ford building. She waited 21 years. If she really wanted to hurt him, she would have done it before either the presidential election. And look, why don't you take your same curiosity and shift it over to the President of the United States? And the reason, even if you did, it doesn't matter, Alan, is because he ain't answering any questions.
Look, I'd like him to answer questions. I'm not saying he shouldn't answer questions.
One other point that was very important that was not mentioned in the NBC News segment that was aired, but I gather, I've heard that she said and wasn't included. You know, she works at she runs a nursing home. That is not only a state-regulated industry, but it is regulated by the Attorney General's office in Arkansas. That's why Clinton was at the conferences anyway. So in complaining and bringing a rape charge against the person who could close her down in a heartbeat, she would be taking an enormous economic risk.
That is a great point. All right, Eleanor Cliff, let me bring you back in here. Senator Barbara Mikulski, a Democrat in Maryland, going back to '91, said the following: What disturbs me as much as the allegations themselves is that the Senate appears not to take the charge of sexual harassment seriously. And once again, where is she with Juanita Broderick? Where was she with Kathleen Willey? It appears to me that for these people on the left, these so-called champion of women's rights, as long as Bill Clinton supports the right of a woman to have an abortion, they'll support him. That's
well,
it.
you conveniently ignore the facts that you don't like. The women's movement, actually, Patricia Ireland called up Paula Jones and offered to consult with her. But Paula Jones's case was not one that women were going to be eager to adopt because, you know, she came forward in the company
Paula has a different story to tell about that, but I won't get into it.
She came forward in the company of Clinton's critics, and you know all of the other discrepancies. And Miss Willey, I mean, Linda Tripp was right there saying her testimony is that was whatever happened was a consensual thing. And, you know, sexual harassment is an issue that has been treated much more seriously in the U.S. Senate.
The charge was verbal, not physical.
Please. And the case that Juanita Broderick brings up is a stale 21-year-old case, which the FBI said the facts are inconclusive.
We've got to take a break.
It's not a case that anybody is going to go form legislation around.
We'll give you all a chance to respond when we get back, and your calls coming up, as is Susan Carpenter McMillan, former spokesperson for Paula Jones. Stay with us on this special edition of Hannity and Colmes.
This program is brought to you by First Union, your guide to the financial world.
This is a world only a few know well. A world of risk and uncertainty, where the roads can take you to success or prosperity, or sometimes to no place at all. This is the financial world. For decades, banks and investment firms of mountainous size have ruled the land. Yet high above the horizon, another mountain has risen. A mountain called First Union. With 16 million customers, the nation's 8th largest brokerage and 6th largest bank. For a new perspective of the financial world, come to the mountain called First Union. Or if you prefer, the mountain will come to you.
Frequent heartburn. Is it worse at night, especially after dinner? Mm-hmm. Have you treated it, even changed your diet, but still suffered 2 or more days a week? Mm-hmm. Has your heartburn been a persistent problem for you? Uh-huh. Your heartburn may be due to a potentially serious condition called acid reflux disease. Ask your doctor about Prilosec. For many people, 1 capsule daily provides 24-hour complete heartburn relief. Ask your doctor about Prilosec and if it's right for you. The most common side effects are headache, diarrhea, and abdominal pain. Want 24-hour heartburn relief with 1 daily dose? Ask your doctor about the 24-hour complete heartburn relief that's possible with Prilosec.
Boogie woogie, rumbling round, creamy, dreamy, rumbling round. It's got yogurt, blended right in, with the creamy taste of butter, you'll try again.
The goodness of yogurt, the creamy taste of butter with half the fat and calories. Must be Rumbling Brown.
Stay tuned to receive your free trial version of America's #1 accounting software for small business.
Okay, folks, here's your business cards, letterhead, and my invoice.
How did you create this invoice?
With QuickBooks accounting software, I called the toll-free number and got a free trial version.
Wish I had time to learn new software.
It takes no time. Answer a few simple questions and QuickBooks tailors itself to your business automatically. And if you can write a check, you can use QuickBooks. QuickBooks makes it easy to see who owes you money and how much you owe. It also does invoicing, payroll, and inventory. Plus, you get customizable reports and graphs that puts you in control of your business.
To try QuickBooks free, call 1-800-714-3555 for your free trial version. Or if you also need time tracking, estimating, and project costing, then try QuickBooks Pro. Either trial is yours free for calling 1-800-714-3555. That's 1-800-714-3555.
Welcome back to Hannity and Colmes. I'm Sean Hannity. We continue with Fox News political analyst and Newsweek contributing editor Eleanor Clift. The great one, Mark Levin. He's the president of the Landmark Legal Foundation. Great victory for him the other day. Dick Morris, former advisor to President Clinton, also a Fox News political analyst. By the way, his book, I believe it's out in paperback, Dick, Behind the Oval Office.
Right, that's right.
Congratulations on that. All right.
Saturday Night Bill and Sunday Morning Clinton making their debut in my introduction.
Dick Morris, September of last year on this very program, you sat right to my left, and you said, if anything, it was date rape. If anything, it was date rape. He didn't jump out of the bushes with a knife. So you were thinking then that there's a possibility.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, her story is very convincing. The fact that she didn't report it is probably due to fear of economic retribution as much as anything else. And I think that it's a terribly serious allegation. I think there are two dichotomies we don't draw here. One is we don't pay enough attention to the fact that a Jennifer Flowers came forward to make money, but a Kathleen Willey, and so did a Paula Jones actually, and a Kathleen Willey and a Juanita Broderick were forced to come forward under threat of perjury. You know, the law in the United States is that anybody except the president who lies under oath has to pay for it.
Dick, sorry, Mark Levin, I want to go to you for just a second here. I was dealing with Eleanor in the last segment about the hypocrisy of the left as it relates to Clarence Thomas. First of all, Clarence Thomas was never accused of anything physical. Only talking about verbally, and they went nuts on the left. As a matter of fact, the majority of Democratic senators, nearly every one of them, voted that he was unfit to be a Supreme Court justice because of words that he may or may not have said that were in dispute. But
Sean, let me cut through this. Here's the bottom line. They'll use Thomas Jefferson if they have to, Newt Gingrich, Ken Starr, Clarence Thomas, but they cannot defend this man. You listen to it tonight. Eleanor's talking about it's stale, it's 21 years old. You know, Eleanor, we deport people in this country if we find out that they're even members of the Nazi Party. We should deport them, but to pretend that that doesn't mean that 21 years ago or 50 years ago what they did was outrageous is outrageous.
Well, Mark,
the National Organization for Losers, and that's what they are, is so hypocritical, so partisan. And Alan, you're a friend, but let's get this straight. You go down those White House points, whether they're White House points or not, they appreciate it. All these women come forward. You're an intelligent man. You know they're not all great actors. They're not all lying. Something is wrong with this man.
My response to that is I don't see Juanita Broderick as part of that pattern. I've argued that many times. So I don't see her part of the same pattern as Kathleen Willey, who I question, as Paula Jones. We'll have Susan Carpenter McMillan address that later on tonight. But let me, Eleanor, let me play devil's advocate with you for a moment, because you and I are ostensibly on the same side. But I'm troubled. Here's what troubles me. I know that women who are raped are not going to come forward right away. It's an act. They're shamed. It may take years. Here is a woman who, you know, had a nursing home that was regulated by the Attorney General of the state of Arkansas. You can understand why, if it happened, she wouldn't want to come forward. So these are credible questions. Does it concern you?
Yeah, those are credible questions, but I can also run down, there are a number of facts on the other side that cast doubt on her story. But I don't really want to sit here and pass judgment on whether she's recounting the facts exactly as they happen, because we will never know what went on in that room. And if she finds closure by having gone public now, you know, God bless her, fine. But there is nowhere to go with this story except to use it as a political weapon.
Why do you think she came forward now? What do you think her motives are at this point?
I think she was harassed by the press, and she saw stories out there that made the situation actually appear a whole lot worse, that she had taken money for her silence, that she had been taken to the hospital bloodied. So, you know, and she was getting called constantly by a media which cannot stand to let go of this scandal.
Dick Morris, do you know that you're now a media person? Certainly you know that the media has glommed onto this. They're looking for a story. Here they've got another story post-impeachment. Doesn't that play a role in this?
Well, look, I think the big thing of the media was that NBC chose to hold this story during the impeachment and not run it during the impeachment trial. And their excuse that they were checking up the facts. Hey, NBC isn't a low-budget operation. They could have checked the facts in a week or 2 weeks. They didn't need to take 4 or 5. I think by delaying it until after the impeachment was over, they were probably, I'm just guessing now, bowing to corporate pressure.
But wasn't that responsible to wait? Wasn't that responsible for them to wait to do that, Dick? Because they couldn't corroborate it.
Alan, you asked me to be on the show. Let me finish. I've been with Tim Russert for over 20 years. I ran some campaigns with him in the 70s.
Quickly, Dick.
He's a very honest guy. There is no way that Tim Russert would sit on this story. Fox is the only news station owned by a news organization. NBC is owned by a corporation. And I think that there may well have been corporate pressure to move this until after the impeachment was over, when nobody can do anything about it. Eleanor's right.
Hang on, Eleanor. We got to go to our phones. We have people standing by. Connie is in Ohio. We'll start with you, Connie, on Hannity and Colmes.
Hello. I was calling up. If Clinton steps down, would the controversy be over, or should he just leave it alone like it is?
Statute of limitations has passed, and so I don't think anything legally could happen. Mark Levin, you want to weigh on this?
No,
it's only public. I mean, there's only public pressure to get him out.
This controversy will be going on for 30 years.
It's 6 years statute of limitations down there.
Right, Eleanor, you wanted to say?
Yeah, this is just going to go into the the Clinton Hall of Fame along with the Vince
It'll go in with the grassy knoll and
but Eleanor,
the grassy knoll and the Kennedy assassination.
Eleanor, you know something?
No way to
Eleanor, here's my question for you. You know what? You're right. It's a he said, she said. Neither one of us were there.
No, it's a he said, they said.
He said, they said. Good point, Dick. But the point is, you know, you're so nonchalant about this, and you just throw this away. A woman claimed she was raped, and frankly, she was very credible. And it's only 21 years.
Sean,
this is about
the
Bill
point
Clinton
is that we're
and
missing...
on top of Kathleen hang on, Dick. About all these women, and you just cast this aside. I'm shocked, frankly.
No, I'm actually shocked the way you just blend everything together. All of these instances are very different, and I'm going to judge this president on his behavior as a president. And frankly, he's been a good president, and I'm never going to find out what went on in that hotel room. And I'm with Juanita Broderick's son. Let me finish, please.
Well, we don't have 3 hours,
I'm with Juanita Broderick's son, who said, we're going to move on. We've spoken, and we're going to move on.
Excuse me. Well, then move on and let me get in here a second. Let me tell you something.
Would you please stop yelling in my ear?
I'll tell you what. Let's hold on for 1 second, because we have to take a break, and then Dick is leaving. So let me ask that, and you two can battle it out again in the next half hour. Dick, what will be the political fallout of this? What do you expect to happen?
You know, they say that she's Jane Doe number 5. They should do it in Roman numerals like the Super Bowl, because there'll be a 6 and a 7 and an 8 and a 9.
You expect more people to come forward?
Yeah,
absolutely.
I think that, you know, when you do this, you don't just do it once. And
what will be the political
there is a point here about the cumulative impact. Look, the political point is that while everybody says Bill Clinton hasn't suffered in the polls, they're wrong. His job rating is in the high 60s, but his favorability's dropped 30 points.
Thank you,
It'll keep
Dick.
going down.
Good to see you. Enjoy your time in L.A. Mark and Eleanor will stay with us. We have so much more to come. We're going to get to a lot more of your calls right after this news update. And we will be joined in our next half hour by Paula Jones's former advisor, Susan Carpenter McMillan. Is Paula Jones angry at Juanita Broderick? We'll talk about it.
Coming March 8th, a new fuel for kids. K-Essentials, only from Kellogg's.
Half can be bad, or half can be good. Maxwell House Light, half the caffeine and the full, rich flavor of regular coffee.
Hi, it's Lynn. We met the other night. I really want you to call me. My number's 397-42.
Half can be bad, or half can be good. Maxwell House Light, half the caffeine and the full, rich flavor of regular coffee.
As a leading expert in my field, I help clients relieve their stress. I make them overcome their fears of the unknown. I help them get out and make new friends. And sometimes I even help them fall in love.
Anyone can make travel reservations. An expert makes dreams come true. Call your Cruise Holidays Vacation store.
They are some of this century's best-known couples. You may know who they are, but what do you really know about them? Get ready for a quiz you'll love to take. Sunday on Fox Movie Tone News. Hey, how's Trix? Could your pet make it in showbiz? Then, who will end up in the winner's circle? Highlights of the International Cat Show from Madison Square Garden. And he's helped his master over many hurdles. An interview with former diving great Greg Louganis. Sunday on Pet News.
Fox News Now, I'm Todd Connor. In Norton, Massachusetts, search teams will resume their work in the morning in hopes of finding a missing 9-year-old boy. The boy vanished Thursday after going out to find his dog in a fierce snowstorm. The dog turned up later, but Corey Anderson never did. Searchers say they are still hopeful he's alive. A change of venue for President Clinton. The president left sunny Southern California this afternoon following a round of golf with some Democratic fundraisers. The first family went to Utah for a vacation, skiing for everyone but the president in honor of Chelsea Clinton's 19th birthday. Her father, who doesn't ski, says he will read and relax. The Mississippi River is open again. The Coast Guard had closed 21 miles of the river after yesterday's tanker accident. The ship hit a tug, a dock, a crew boat, and some barges. It also spilled about 3,000 gallons of oil, which was contained downriver. No one was hurt, and none of the gasoline on board leaked out. A Florida jury has convicted the Reverend Henry Lyons on charges of racketeering and grand theft. Lyons, head of the National Baptist Convention USA, could spend 7 years in jail. His future with the church is unclear. Meanwhile, his alleged mistress was found not guilty, but both still face a federal trial in April. And finally, there are good cigars and really good cigars, and then there's the box of Cuban cigars that actor Billy Zane bought at auction in Cuba. The Titanic co-star paid 150,000 American dollars for one box. It did, of course, have Fidel Castro's autograph. The auction attracted cigar lovers from around the world. And our next update's coming up at the top of the hour. Coming up next, more of Hannity and Colmes. Stay with us as most powerful name in cable news rolls on.
Welcome to Hannity and Colmes. I'm Alan Colmes. President Clinton now faces his most serious allegation to date, rape. In her interview last night, Juanita Broderick said she wanted to set the record straight on what really happened 21 years ago in a Little Rock hotel room. Feminists have endured President Clinton's womanizing over the years, but if these allegations are to be believed, the man in the White House could be a rapist. What do feminists think of the charges, and will they rally behind Mrs. Broderick's charges or the president's denials? We're joined in Washington by Fox News political analyst and Newsweek contributing editor Eleanor Clift, Mark Levin, president of the Landmark Legal Foundation, and now joining us in Los Angeles is Susan Carpenter McMillan, president of the Women's Coalition and former advisor to Paula Jones. Susan, welcome back to Hannity and Colmes.
Thanks. It's great to be here.
Have you talked to Paula at all along the way here about the charges of Juanita Broderick?
No, I haven't talked to her today, but of course, you know, we knew about Juanita Broderick all along. So we knew about many of these women. But I think the most interesting question, Alan, for me, is why are these obviously self-hating women, these so-called feminist fanatics, all looking at the women that are accusing Clinton as nothing more than agenda-driven harlots, while they jump to defend their guy Bubba, who is nothing, portraying him like a knight on a whiny armor.
You know, can I give you an answer to that? I mean, can I give you a hypothesis?
Okay.
I think that the Clinton haters have overshot so much. They've accused them of everything from murder to drug dealing to all kinds of things. That we've almost.
Alan, I have to tell you, I never believed the murder and the drug dealing before, but then I didn't believe the rape when I first heard it. I got to tell you, I would take a third look at any accusation made against this
See,
man
that's the problem. Eleanor Clift, these people, see, I hope this is not true. But I think some of the people who are anti-Clinton have really hurt themselves by overshooting and overstating that it's hard to believe these accusations.
I think Susan just did the same thing. There isn't a feminist out there who has said anything unkind about Miss Broderick. Nobody is calling her a harlot. Everybody is listening respectfully. But we are realistic. This is 21 years ago. Nobody's going to know what went on. FBI investigators found her story inconclusive. There is no place to take this.
They're not supporting her the way they did Anita Hill. That's what the point is,
nobody is going to rally around her, but you, Sean, you didn't support Anita Hill either.
And
do I get to call you a hypocrite?
Before I get to Mark, I want to ask Susan
can I
one
answer
question.
this? We're getting a few cheap shots in here, and I'm not getting the answer. On this FBI, for instance, somebody that worked at the Justice Department, those are called 302s. You have 2 FBI agents. They interview Broderick. They couldn't interview Clinton, so it's called inconclusive. But the allegations are serious. The President of the United States sends out his talking suit at $500 an hour to give a terse statement. The President, Alan, we just talked about this earlier, the President has no intention of responding to these allegations, and he ought to, because he is the leader of this country. It's not a question of where do we go from here and so forth. But Mark, it's a question of health for the Republic.
And there's one other thing, and all these charges that weren't true, but it took 8 months for us to find a semen-stained dress to prove he lied to the American people. Susan, here's my question to you. You said you knew about Juanita Broderick all along, working with Paula Jones on her case. Is there any other women we may be hearing about? Are there any other women out there that we may hear about in the days to come?
Sean, I'm not going to out other women.
That's a yes, isn't it?
That we may know about, because I'll tell you, every one of the individuals sitting in the studio, including Miss Rodham Cliff, knows full well that there are other women out there.
Is there any
All
other
of us know it.
woman that you know of, can you tell us this, that is accusing the President of this type of assault?
Of rape? You know, why are we calling it
rape.
assault?
I'm sorry, rape.
It's rape.
I've said it before. Is there any other woman that's accusing him of this that you know of?
Not that I know of in this degree. I think the frustrating thing is that we have assaults and then we have out-and-out rape. I mean, when you sit and control a woman by biting her lip, and every time she moves, you bite in further, how can we call that assault? It is out-and-out rape.
I think you have to call it alleged rape. There's been no corroboration. We've got to take a break. What do you think? Call us 1-888-TEL-FOX. We'll be right back on Hannity and Colmes.
Times change. We change. But for over 30 years, women have made Dove the #1 beauty bar. Dove has 1/4 moisturizing lotion to leave skin softer than soap ever could.
A proper gentleman eats one cookie at a time.
But these aren't cookies. They're Newtons.
Oh, we can't be proper all the time, now can we?
A cookie is just a cookie, but Newtons are fruit and cake. And now Fig Newtons are better than ever, because they're moister than ever.
Sprint is creating a world of unlimited possibilities. A world where time and distance don't matter anymore. Call 1-800-PIN-DROP now and switch to Sprint Unlimited. Introducing Sprint Unlimited, the only way to get unlimited calling every Saturday, every Sunday, all weekend long for just $25 a month. And your weekday calls are just $0.10 a minute. Anytime, anywhere. Come live in a world created around you. A world where weekends never end. Because only Sprint Unlimited gives you unlimited calling every weekend. And every weekday call is just $0.10 a minute. If you make over an hour of calls each weekend, you could save by switching to Sprint Unlimited. Call 1-800-PIN-DROP now for unlimited ways to save on long distance and leave the past behind. Sprint ahead.
When is it not necessarily great to have a great economy? How about when interest rates are backing up? Because don't look now, but interest rates are backing up. What it could mean for you and for me in the next Cavuto on Business.
Fox News Channel Daytime. The whole story in context. Facts presented fairly. The issues balanced so you have the power to think for yourself.
fair and balanced. The most powerful name in news. Fox News Channel. We report, you decide.
Your parents.
Money doesn't grow on trees, you know.
Don't make your kids learn about savings the old-fashioned way. Join Fox on Money for tips on teaching your buckaroo where and how their money can grow and grow. So here's some sound advice. Watch Fox on Money Sunday.
Welcome back to Hannity and Colmes. I'm Sean Hannity. Still lots more to come tonight. Your calls, we call it video graffiti. That's straight ahead. Susan Carpenter McMillan, you and Paul Jones, you both were out there from the very beginning, alone. Juanita Broderick had this information for a long time, and she sat back and she watched this case develop, and Kathleen Willey eventually came out there, and the whole Monica Lewinsky situation was unfolding, and she said nothing. Are you angry at Juanita Broderick personally?
You know, let me choose my words carefully, which is quite unique for me. I'm going to lump all of the women together. I'm not talking about the consensual affairs. I'm going to talk about Kathleen Willey. I'm going to talk about the former Miss America, other than maybe Dolly Kyle Browning. All of these women watched Paula go out by herself, knowing full well that everything she was saying was the absolute gospel truth. We tried to depose these women. They either lied in their affidavit, they took off, we couldn't find where they were, they went to court and tried to stop us.
She's called trailer trash.
She's called trailer trash. She's out there all by herself. While I certainly feel for all these women, and I don't have anger at them personally, I'm extremely frustrated that Paula was...
Can I say something,
hang on one second. I want to get Mark. Mark's been out for a while. Mark, I want you to weigh in on all of this in light of, we're now talking about a pattern of behavior. Kathleen Willey groped, grabbed, that he took her hand and put it on his aroused genitals, is the allegation that she made, and grabbed her and groped her. I just want you to weigh in on this. Do you believe what Juanita Broderick said last night?
Well, I do, and let me tell you something. The little secret is, so do a lot of Democrats. A lot of Democrats, and I'm not talking about Eleanor, who come on these shows, who talk to me during the breaks about what a sick man is, about how they believe these allegations. Then they come on the show and say, let's get this behind us. We have no proof. Alan, for instance, every time an allegation comes out, it's not proof, not proof. Well, we still want to hear if there's some legitimacy to it. The allegation. You don't have an allegation, then a slam-dunk jury conviction. I've never heard of that.
You don't have an allegation, Mark, and automatically believe the allegation without some corroboration, which we don't have here.
If you were to accuse...
One second, Mark, please finish. Go ahead, Mark.
If you were to accuse the president of being a loyal husband, I wouldn't believe it. There's an allegation I wouldn't believe.
But here's
Can I interject a little reality here? This conversation about all these women who didn't step forward and let poor Paula hang out there to dry. How come I know all these women? I know their stories. I don't think they've been hidden in the shadows at all.
Well,
and as I recall, the legal underpinning of Miss Jones's case, the judge said even if everything proceeded as she described, it was not sexual harassment.
By the way, Susan, if you're going to say, that all these other women, were wrong and some of them lied, then you're indicting all these other women, and so they're all not to be believed, right?
You know, Alan, that is so, I am so glad you worded it like that, because that is how twisted you liberals think. Number one, I never said any of them lied. I believe every single one of them.
Wait a minute, Juanita Broderick gave a sworn affidavit. She perjured herself. She gave a sworn affidavit.
She did perjure herself, but when they finally came out, when Eleanor said that she knew, well, wait a minute, when Eleanor said that she knew these women, she knew them only after the Paula Jones case was dismissed. But I have a question for you, Alan, and for Eleanor. You know, you say you can't prove these allegations, yet you were willing to keep Clarence Thomas off of the Supreme Court.
I wasn't.
Based on these ridiculous allegations.
I was willing to keep him off the Supreme Court based on his views, and a lot of liberals used the other stuff as a political weapon, but they were opposed to him anyway.
By the way,
then why didn't you play fair? Why did you play so politically dirty?
We will take a break, and we will come back, and we'll get some of your calls. And by the way, didn't the president commit perjury too? All right, that's all coming up next as we continue on Hannity and Colmes. Thanks for being with us.
Baxter, what's for lunch?
chicken noodle. Been eating it since I was a kid.
I used to eat condensed soup, and then I learned my ABCs. You're an adult now. There's a better tasting soup. Progresso chicken noodle with only white meat chicken, big vegetables, just the right seasoning. See what I mean?
Much better.
Told ya. Now, want to talk about that lunchbox?
Discover the better taste of Progresso and win one of 50,000 Cool Blue prizes during Progresso's Blue is Better Instant Win Sweepstakes.
You want to go online to buy that hot stock at 18, but by the time you're done clicking out of AOL's pop-up ads, it could be at 20. No thanks. There is a choice. Prodigy Internet. If what you really want is unlimited internet and email, Prodigy will get you there in just one click. Sign up for Prodigy Internet now and get 50% off for 3 months. That's only $9.95 a month. Get on, get what you need, and go do something with it. There is a choice. Call 1-800-PRODIGY.
Rough night's sleep, no big deal? Look again. This X-ray shows no support for your neck and spine when you toss and turn on an ordinary pillow. But now there's the Contour Cloud, the world's most comfortable pillow. Patented soft-touch memory layer molds to fit your head, neck, even your ear for unparalleled softness and comfort, while Blue Base straightens and aligns your spine. Plus, exclusive Crescent provides comforting support to your neck and shoulders. It even cradles your back. Watch again how ordinary pillows simply don't support you. Now see how the Contour Cloud cradles your head in softness as it straightens and aligns your spine. Thousands have paid $90 for this memory pillow, but you can order ours direct for only $19.95 with a 90-day money-back guarantee. Order in the next 60 minutes and we'll include this hot cold therapy gel pack, a $9 value, free.
Call now to order 1-800-437-4377. Don't waste another night. Call right now. 1-800-437-4377. That's 1-800-437-4377.
Coffee? Sounds great. Let me just check my messages.
Hi, Mrs. Kane. It's Hill's Pharmacy. Your prescription is ready, and your total comes to $65.
Ooh, tell me that's more than one prescription.
Nope. That's how much just one of my refills costs. Our insurance doesn't cover prescriptions. What can I do?
Join the People's Prescription Plan.
A People's Prescription Plan membership card tells your pharmacist a lot. It says that for one low monthly fee, you and everyone in your household are guaranteed the best price the plan offers on all types of prescription drugs. New prescriptions, refills, injectables, and more. Plus, you can save up to half off the cost of eyeglasses and contact lenses. So get the lowest price available with the People's Prescription Plan. Call now.
Sue, just got back from the drugstore. I really did save with the People's Prescription Plan.
Call 1-800-714-3555. Call now.
Welcome back to Hannity and Colmes. I'm Alan Colmes. In our next segment, Video Graffiti, please stay tuned for that. But right now we continue with Fox News political analyst and Newsweek contributing editor Eleanor Clift, Mark Levin, president of the Landmark Legal Foundation, and Susan Carpenter McMillan, president of the Women's Coalition. Now, Susan, I did not support Anita Hill's charges against Clarence Thomas. I don't think that was a reason for him not or to be denied the Supreme Court. I didn't like Clarence Thomas for other political reasons,
Right.
but look, I think she came forth with too little too late. So we agree about that. But if Anita Hill were now to come forward and say that she was at a conference with Bill Clinton and he made a pass at her or said some crude remark, you would believe Anita Hill, but the same people like yourself who would have believed Anita Hill about Bill Clinton didn't believe Anita Hill back then about Clarence Thomas. Doesn't that seem like hypocrisy?
No, I think
I mean, the hypocrisy works both ways, doesn't it?
Oh, Clarence Thomas had one accuser and one accuser only, and believe me, the Democrats literally put out ads across the country.
But Susan, Bill Clinton has only one accuser of rape, one accuser of this kind of non-consensual behavior.
I see, Alan. So grabbing someone and placing their hands on your genitals, unzipping yourself and asking for oral sex, pushing someone up against the wall,
because you automatically believe those charges, because you gained a lot by representing Paula Jones, and you believed her charges, and I believe they were politically motivated. But we don't have a series of accusers of rape by Bill Clinton.
Well, what do you want? We have to have a serial rapist now? Let me tell you
my
something.
point being, Susan's answer was there was only one accuser.
Let me tell you
something. We only have one rape accuser here.
Excuse me, this is the only president of the United States that faces possible criminal contempt by a judge. This is the only president of the United States that's been impeached for perjury, whether he's convicted or not. He was impeached.
Does that make him a rapist?
What's that?
Does that make him a rapist?
It makes him fundamentally a liar.
It doesn't make him a rapist, Mark.
Why don't you let me finish my sentence, and I will tell you what it makes him. It makes him a man that's accused of all kind of sickening conduct and to disbelieve it. You have to really disbelieve all kinds of people who don't have agendas.
So
Alan.
you believe because he enjoys consensual
Alan,
sex with a variety of women, he's therefore a rapist? He's been called a murderer. He's been called a drug dealer.
Why do you keep doing that mantra? I never said any of that.
Because you're making leaps of faith that don't make any sense.
It's not a leap of faith. It's called common sense. When you walk into a wall, you know it's a wall.
All right,
Alan, let me ask you
Susan,
something very
hang on a second, Susan. But let me just throw this back to Mark. Kathleen Willey was not consensual.
Exactly.
As a matter of fact, I'll put on the screen again what Kathleen Willey said. Paula Jones was not consensual. And we got to be clear about this. This is what makes it a pattern of behavior. But we'll put up on the screen if we can. Kathleen Willey, he touched my breast with his hands. He took my hand and he put it on his aroused genitals, is what she said. And that's when I pushed him away and decided I had to get out of there. Paula Jones, drop the pants, kiss it. At what point, how many more people do... First of all, he's a known liar. How many people do we have to believe are liars to believe this one man?
There really is, and we're hearing it tonight with all due respect, there really is no defense to this. You can throw up Clarence Thomas, you can throw up whatever you want, and I'll defend Clarence Thomas, but really I want to stay focused here. The President of the United States is accused by a woman who came forward very reluctantly, compelled by the criminal process, told her story, and now we're poking holes. You mean she was at a fundraiser 3 weeks later? Come on, Alan.
Susan, I want to back up a point you made earlier with the words of then candidate for Senate Barbara Boxer from your home state of California, what she said about Clarence Thomas way back when she said she was running for the Senate. She said it was the vote in the Senate against Clarence Thomas was a partial victory. She said it cut the number of votes that Thomas received to 60 to 52. And led to a recognition that without enough women in the Senate, it's not representative of America. She called it a partial victory. A full victory, of course, would have been for him not to be confirmed to the Supreme Court because of the allegation of one woman about a verbal assault, not a physical assault.
Well, you're absolutely right. That assault happened 10 years ago. She continued to follow him from job to job, even delivered papers to his apartment late at night, and yet these women were frothing at the mouth to put her up as a hero, paid her $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 on a lecture circuit later on. But Alan, I have a question for you.
Susan, before you do, we have a special phone caller. We have Dolly Kyle Browning on the phone who would like to speak with you. Dolly Kyle Browning is one of the Clinton accusers. She claims she had a 30-year relationship with Bill Clinton. Part of that, some of those years, she says that was a sexual relationship.
And Dolly came out.
She's been on this program with her attorney, Larry Klayman of Judicial Watch. And Dolly, welcome to the program. Something you'd like to say to Susan. Go ahead.
Thank you. Yes, in fact, maybe I misunderstood. I thought Susan lumped me in with the group that was filing false affidavits to not testify and not come forward. Because,
oh, no.
Okay.
Dolly, you are a hero of mine.
All right. Well, my name got lumped into that other group, and I wanted to clarify that because Billy's lawyers tried to get me to file a motion to quash the subpoena, and, you know, I testified, and Paula's lawyers used my book and the information about sex addiction as part of their case.
Dolly, let me ask you a question. You know Bill Clinton very well, better than anybody else here on this panel. Is Bill Clinton capable of raping somebody?
He absolutely is. He is a sex addict. He admitted to me in 1988 that he was a sex addict.
But does that make somebody a rapist? Is that the same thing as being a rapist?
No, not necessarily. But it does mean that he is out of control. He has no power over his sexual urges, and it can go to rape. And if you look at any sex addiction group, you will find rapists, you will find child molesters, you will find ex-cons of every sort, and that's exactly what you have here, and no one can prove it right now, and that wasn't the issue. The issue was that Bill Clinton said in his deposition that he never sexually harassed anyone, and this woman, Juanita Broderick, was a rebuttal witness to that, and that's why, even though it was 21 years ago, her testimony is absolutely relevant.
Dolly, thanks for calling in. We're glad you're out there watching. So I hope that clarified everything with Susan. You guys are okay?
Okay, we're fine.
Appreciate it. Mark, I want to go to you, Mark. You know, David Kendall said, quote, any allegation the president assaulted Miss Broderick 20 years ago is absolutely false. Well, I guess we have to be very careful when we're dealing with the Clintonoids, as you call them. Because 20 years ago, her name was Juanita Hickey.
That's
right.
Yeah, and who cares what David Kendall says anyways? He's
paid $500 an hour, right?
Was he an eyewitness? No, he's a lawyer for a liar, so that's what he is.
Susan? Alan, I really want to ask you this question.
Susan.
because knowing you, and while we don't agree, I know that you're very honorable.
Thank you.
If I accused you of raping me in a hotel room last night and went before the world and said it, knowing you, Alan, there is no way that you would go and say, my lawyers have said it all. You would pull your hair out, stand up, scream, and say, this is a damnable lie.
You're absolutely right, I would.
And so would any man.
And I would like, I've said this
and
before.
And so would any man
we only have a moment
who
left.
did not rape the woman.
I would like the president to respond. I said that last night. I say it again tonight. I'm troubled by these allegations, but I don't know where this might be going. We don't have enough corroborative evidence to call Bill Clinton a rapist.
We are out of time. Thank you, Susan Carpenter McMillan. Good to see you again. Mark Levin, the great one. Mark, good to see you, buddy. Eleanor, it's always a pleasure, Eleanor. Thank you all for being with us. When we come back, we open up our phone lines toll-free, 1-888-TEL-FOX, 1-888-835-5369. And once again, here's some information. How to contact us. We love to hear from you. And don't forget, we may use your email tomorrow night, our Friday edition of Hannity and Colmes. Your calls are next.
Notice you're sitting a little funny.
Well, my wallet's pretty thick. I carry a lot of credit cards.
Wow, why so many?
Well, this one's for work, this one's for emergency. High limit. This one I got because it's got clout. This one's got a pretty cool hologram. And all the others I was pre-approved for, so I figured, why not?
Well, now you can make that wallet a little thinner and your bank account a little fatter.
Oh, yeah? I'm listening. Yeah, I'm leaning.
Replace all those cards with the Bank One Platinum Visa card. One card with a low introductory rate of just 3.9%. No annual fee and a credit limit from $5,000 up to $1,000.
That's great. I'm paying around 18% on these cards.
Transfer the balances of those higher rate cards to our low 3.9% introductory rate and you'll really save.
Wow.
After 6 months, it's an affordable 12.99% fixed annual percentage rate. You'll also get a year-end summary of your charges, collision coverage on your rental car, and emergency airline ticket replacement.
It's great.
Call now and this versatile expandable portfolio, a $74 comparable value, is free with your first purchase or balance transfer.
Well, let me get this straight. The Bank One Platinum Visa card's got a credit limit up to $100,000. I don't need that card. It's platinum? Talk about clout. It keeps track of all my expenses. It's great for work. And with a low rate, I don't need any of these. Wow, check out the wallet now. Very nice.
And you'll feel even better after you see your monthly statement. At 3.9%, the Bank One Platinum Visa could save you hundreds of dollars in interest.
No annual fee, low rate, better posture. I'm calling Bank One.
Call now to apply for your Bank One Platinum Visa card. Get an introductory 3.9% APR, credit limit up to $100,000, no annual fee, and this versatile portfolio free with your first purchase or balance transfer. Call 1-800-772-2057. That's 1-800-772-2057.
Time for video graffiti, right to our busy phones. David is in Ohio. How are you, David?
Hi, how's it going?
Terrific.
Yeah, I just wanted to briefly say, because Dolly Kyle was on, I wanted to say that I got a warm, fuzzy feeling knowing that Dolly Kyle and Susan Carpenter made up. That makes me feel so much better.
I know you'll sleep
Thanks for
better
the call.
tonight. Thank you. Let's go to Mariana in South Carolina. Hi, Mariana.
Hello, Sean. You and Mark did an admirable job tonight.
Thank
but
you
Alan,
very much.
this one's for you.
Go ahead.
Ready?
Yes.
Put on your Clinton speak ears. Ready?
My Clinton speak ears?
Right.
What's is?
When Clinton's
Go ahead.
attorney made the statement, quote, the President of the United States did not sexually assault Miss Broderick.
He wasn't
Was
the
he
president.
referring to Jimmy Carter, who was president in 1979?
That's a great line, but I don't think they parsed to that extent.
Oh, by the
That's
way,
a great line.
wait a minute, this is the same guy that said you didn't know what is. We were alone, but I never really thought we were. Her name was Juanita Hickey then. You have to get these.
But it's a great point.
You
Sean,
have to get them right
Sean,
on
it's a good point, but
It
Bill
is a great
Clinton
point.
a rapist? Come on.
You know something, Alan?
Come on. I mean, the impeachment
Alan,
is over.
Listen, Alan, nobody knows. You weren't there. I wasn't there.
That's right. That's right. But
here's the
if
problem.
people are innocent until proven
Here's
guilty,
the problem.
you give someone the benefit
Alan,
of the doubt.
No, not him.
Yes.
Not the guy that groped and grabbed and fondled
He falls
and
under
put
the same system of jurisprudence as anybody else.
He
You
does.
give the benefit of the doubt.
But I thought Juanita Broderick was very credible. Pat in Texas. How are you, Pat?
I'm fine. If the president didn't do anything and the statute of limitations has run out, then why does President Clinton need his lawyers to answer for him? Why can't he speak
Because
for
maybe
himself?
he doesn't want to dignify himself to have to respond to this. Jose in Texas.
One
hello.
other thing, by the way, when he looks in the camera and says, I didn't rape her, who's going to believe him?
Jose, I'm sorry.
All right,
I guess
that's
we
it.
have no time. Please call tomorrow night.
All right, that's it for tonight.
All
Thank
right.
you for joining us. Our special edition of Hannity and Colmes. We'll be back tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Eastern. We'll have more on this Juanita Broderick story. Joining us, former Georgia Congressman Bob Barr will be one of our guests. Thank you for being with us. We appreciate your support. Have a great night.
If you would like a videotape or transcript of this program, please call Federal Document Clearinghouse at 1-888-44-FOX-88 or order through our website at foxnews.com.
The O'Reilly Factor from L.A. is straight ahead, and today we'll factor in Juanita Broderick. Do you believe her? We'll have reaction to Ms. Broderick's charge of rape against Bill Clinton from a Republican senator, a Democratic consultant, and insider Dick Morris. Also an analysis of Ms. Broderick's TV interview. Plus, a black minister accuses some African-American leaders of causing racial tension. Those reports upcoming, but first, the latest news headlines.
Fox News Now, I'm Joy DeMandan. One of America's top black clergymen is now a convicted man. The Reverend Henry Lyons faces up to 7 years in prison for racketeering and grand theft. Lyons was found guilty of swindling $4 million from companies seeking business with the National Baptist Convention. Lyons is president of the organization. The jury acquitted Lyons' alleged mistress, but both still face federal trials.
It's time to resign! It's time to resign!
The president is being trailed by protesters almost everywhere he goes these days. Angry protesters showed up at Clinton stops in Tucson, Arizona, San Francisco, Los Angeles, and now today in Salt Lake City. They're upset over Juanita Broderick's charges that Clinton raped her 21 years ago. The president's attorney says it never happened. The deal made with Libya to turn over the 2 suspects in the Lockerbie bombing may be falling apart. America and Britain demanded Libyan leader Muammar Gaddafi hand over the 2 men within a month for trial in a Scottish court. But now Gaddafi claims the World Court in The Hague is the right place to try them. The Pan Am explosion and crash in 1988 killed 270 people, including 198 Americans. Kosovo remains tense while people there wait for peace talks to begin in mid-March. The quiet was broken several times by both sides shooting at each other. And there's speculation about a Serb military buildup in the province. At least 2 rebel fighters have been killed in the most recent gunplay. And finally, take a look at this, an inside view of an implosion. This was the St. Louis Arena, home to a lot of memories of the St. Louis Blues, the NCAA Final Fours, and a lot of rock concerts. And no, the camera inside did not survive the blasts. Our next update is at the bottom of the hour. Coming up next, the O'Reilly Factor. Stay with us.
This ain't no disco. It ain't no country club either. This is L.A. All I want to do is have a little fun before I die. Just a man next.
Hi, I'm Bill O'Reilly reporting from Los Angeles. Thank you for watching us today. Juanita Broderick is the subject of the Talking Points memo and much of the program today. Ms. Broderick's tears were real, but was her story? Some of it was very convincing, some of it shaky. Why did Ms. Broderick, for example, attend a Clinton fundraiser shortly after he allegedly raped her? Ms. Broderick says she was, quote, in denial, unquote. But I find that hard to believe, and the fundraiser is the most damaging evidence against Juanita Broderick's story. In her favor was her emotional demeanor. If the woman is lying, she could give Meryl Streep some competition in the acting department. Ms. Broderick looked like a woman who had been violated. Her emotions were still very strong 21 years after the alleged fact. Talking Points realizes that Ms. Broderick's accusations will never be proven. But since President Clinton cannot be trusted and his character is severely flawed, Ms. Broderick's charge cannot be readily dismissed. We have reached a new low in presidential history, and all Americans should realize it. That's the memo. Now for the top story today, reaction to Juanita Broderick. Joining us now from Washington is Republican Senator Wayne Allard of Colorado. Senator, what's the buzz around D.C. today?
Well, everybody's working on their legislation. You know, they did comment in passing, I think, about the Juanita Broderick story, and many of them agreed with me that she was very credible.
When you say she was very credible, there's a war going on in the American media about how much coverage to give the woman.
Yes.
Because this charge is far and away the most serious charge against Bill Clinton. It's more serious than the Lewinsky obstruction. If he indeed raped this woman, as she contends, this is way beyond anything else. So define credibility for us in your eyes.
Well, I thought the interviewer searched hard to find out a motivation why she would lie, and I think she came up blank, and I agree with the interviewer that there's no obvious reason why she should be not believed. I don't see any hidden motivation. The thing that struck me is she said, look, I'm just trying to clear the record because I want my children and grandchildren to know the facts, and she's afraid that there's been so much spin out there they will not really know what happened. And that was the bottom line of the story, and I think it was very believable.
Did you watch the interview?
I did watch the interview, and I was moved by it. My wife was particularly moved by it. There's a frustration. There's not anything that can be done about it. It's past the statute of limitations. There's not anything that can be done in the Congress. I think most members of Congress realize that, so Republicans, at least in the Congress, are moving ahead with what is it that we can do to shore up our defenses, cut taxes, deal with the deficit and Social Security.
We understand that on the political front and on the legal front, nothing can be done. But to have a president of the United States charged with rape, it's just inconceivable to me. And I don't know whether I'm being naive here, but I just think that this is just diminishing not only the presidency, but all of our government, all of it.
Yes.
This continues to go on. It's not going to stop anytime soon. We have a war among the population, an ethical war over the man. We have a war in the press. People like the Los Angeles Times don't even want to print the story.
Yes.
It just seems to me that the country's being fractured here, a lot like the Vietnam War, but Mr. Clinton just seems to be fiddling, like Nero did in the White House. Am I too harsh?
Well, if all these things are happening you described, I think the president has to be individually responsible. And if he got off in the Senate trial, I think the Democrat Party has to be blamed for it.
The Democrats say that this is just a continuation of the witch hunt to discredit the president, that people hate him and they're going to stop at anything. And one of the things that struck me about the Broderick interview was she came out and said right on camera, I hate this man. That might be motivation enough for her to want to inflict damage upon him.
Well, as much as the president and the first lady want to pass this blame on to somebody else, it gets right back to what he did to this woman. I think she has every right to hate him, and again, he has to bear personal responsibility for that. It's not a plot. It's his responsibility. He caused the problem. He's the one that's putting the president through, putting the country through all this anguish.
But you know, you're not saying allegedly, Senator. You sound like you think he did this.
Well, I'm like I told you right the first of the interview, I thought she was very convincing. I believed her.
Before she came on television and during the impeachment trial, was this Jane Doe 5, was this in play? Did you guys know about this?
No, I don't know. It wasn't put in play particularly in the Senate. My wife had picked up the fact that it was going to be on that evening, and she says, I want to listen to it. And I says, well, I'll join you. And so that's how I came to know about it, but there wasn't any kind of effort by Republicans in the Senate to say, let's all watch the movie.
All right, so it wasn't really a factor in whether people voted one way or another on impeachment.
That's correct.
Because the House managers and some of the House of Representatives were given a look at the file that was on display, but you never saw that file.
Well, no, I never saw it, and that was by design, by the way, because I took an oath of impartiality, and I wanted to make sure that I didn't have anything influence my judgment, or that I could be accused of having anything else taint my judgment one way or the other. So I stayed away from that.
When we come back, we'll have more with Senator Allard, and I want to ask him a couple of questions about how the Democrats are reacting. And then we will have reaction from a Democratic consultant. Also up ahead, a black minister says some black leaders are responsible for racial tensions here in L.A. and across the country. Right back from Los Angeles.
They drive their shiny Datsuns and Buicks back to the phone company, the record store too. Well, they're nothing like Billy and me, 'cause all I wanna do is have some fun. I got a boogie woogie rumbling round, creamy dreamy rumbling round. It's got yogurt, blended right in with the creamy taste of butter. You'll try it.
The goodness of yogurt, the creamy taste of butter with half the fat and calories. Must be Rummelin' Brown.
These days in Washington, there's more heartburn than ever, and more burning, and more pressure. More pain. It's time someone did more about it, too.
Alka-Seltzer does more with more medicines to speed complete relief to your worst heartburn and pain. Alka-Seltzer, more complete heartburn relief.
It's my party and I cry if I want to, cry if I want to, cry if I want to. You would cry too if it happened to you. It's my party and I cry if I want to, cry if I want to, cry if I want to. You would cry too if it happened to you.
When you have it your way, it just tastes better.
You know Microsoft, why not use your connections? The people who made your PC fast and reliable with Windows now do the same for your internet connections. Call now to try MSN Internet Access, free. It gives you Microsoft technology and speeds of up to 56K for fast, reliable connections to the things that interest you most. Like planning a trip, exploring MSN.com and the internet, and of course, keeping in touch. And MSN Internet Access is ranked #1 in customer satisfaction by J.D. Power & Associates. Call now to try it free for a month, then do nothing to keep getting unlimited MSN Internet Access and email for just $19.95 a month. Click the MSN icon on your Windows 95 or 98 desktop or call for a free CD. With exceptional speed and reliability that take the guesswork out of Internet connections, there's only one question left to ponder.
A black man in Texas, a gay student in Wyoming. These grisly murders were covered to death by the media. Are they guilty of bias when reporting on biased crimes? And Juanita Broderick. Was the press more interested in the scoop than the whole story? Find out Sunday on Fox News Watch. They are some of this century's best-known couples. You may know who they are, but what do you really know about them? Get ready for a quiz you'll love to take. Sunday on Fox Movie Tone News.
Let's go surfing now, everybody's learning how. Come on a safari with me. Come on a safari with me. Early in the morning we'll be starting out. Some honeys will be coming along. We're loading up our woody.
Continuing now with Republican Senator Wayne Allard of Colorado, who is in our Washington studio. I am here in Los Angeles. The Democrats have been very quiet about the Juanita Broderick story. We're not seeing a lot. We're seeing the spin is basically it's an old story. She doesn't have a lot of credibility, but there isn't the attack that was made on Paula Jones and the Monica Lewinsky situation, the right-wing conspiracy. We're not hearing that. In the Senate, you said in the beginning of the interview, Senator, that it was in passing that this was mentioned. Any Democrats commenting at all? You don't have to name the names if you don't want.
Well, there was a few that were mentioning it, sort of shaking their heads, you know, but there was no way of interpreting and why they were shaking their heads, but obviously they were wanting to have the issues go away related to the president. Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah.
Everybody would like to, on the Democratic side, would like to see this thing subside.
Yes.
Now, let's assess the damage in working with President Clinton. Now, you in the Senate and in the House as well have to work with this man, yet there is a feeling of disdain for him personally on many, many people's parts. How's that going to influence the way you interact with President Clinton?
You simply have to put those feelings aside and you have to deal with the issues and you have to do what's best for America. I think our leadership in the Senate has done that, and we're prepared to move ahead with the Republican agenda, and we just have to keep the interests of the country above how we might feel about this president.
Because, I mean, you're sitting there, you're looking at him, he's looking at you,
yes.
And you know he likes approval. The president wants everybody to like him, and it's easier to deal with him on legislation if he feels that you like him. You know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
If he feels that you like him, he's more willing to bend. But if you go in there going, I wonder if this guy's a rapist, he's gonna draw back. Now you got to deal with him for 2 more years. Is it possible that a détente could come about, or is it going to be a fractured government?
No, I don't think it's going to be a fractured government. I think, at least from this cause, there might be some other cause that might bring that on. But I think members of the Senate are willing to work with this president on legislation, work on the issues, and we're all adults. We've done our responsibility in the trial, many of us, and I think we feel like we need to move ahead, and we have other responsibilities facing us, and that is to get budgets passed and move on with issues.
You're putting a good face on it. I'm not so sure that's going to happen. What have you heard from your constituents this morning about the Juanita Broderick interview?
We've had very little feedback into our office, very few calls one way or the other. I think people all over the country probably are reacting like members in the Senate. They're sort of shaking their head, and here's one more situation where the president is misbehaved.
So not a lot of people have called up expressing indignation or anything like that?
Well, not in my office. And there's no reason, I think, to call a member of the Senate because there's not anything we can do about it at this point.
No, but you know how people are. They want to spout off. I mean,
that's right.
Certainly, when you were in there hearing about the impeachment, I bet you got some mail in there, didn't you?
Well, we did get a lot about the
Absolutely.
Absolutely. But this, but you know that was a different issue altogether. That was lying under oath. That was obstruction of justice, and people were particularly upset about the lying under oath.
Yeah, but this is alleged rape.
That's correct.
I just think people are just so stunned and shocked that they're almost numb. They're almost numb now to the charges against the president. It probably works in his favor.
Well, I can't disagree with your analysis.
Okay, Senator, thanks very much. Always a pleasure to speak with you. Directly ahead, an advisor to Al Gore will react to the Juanita Broderick story. And then, are black leaders causing racial tensions themselves? One minister says yes. We hope you stay tuned as The Factor continues from California.
From early in the morning until late at night, they'll do you so wrong, they'll do you so right. Back in LA, waiting for the sun to shine. Back in LA.
You want to make money? Read Forbes. Call now and get a risk-free issue of Forbes, filled with ways to make money and get ahead in business. If you like it, we'll send you 13 more issues for just $19.97, and you'll get the Forbes Investment Guide free. Call now for Forbes.
My son wouldn't drink his milk, so I worried about his nutrition. But then I tried Ovaltine, and now he loves his milk. Ovaltine tastes great and adds vitamins. Nestle Quick adds none. So milk not only tastes better, it's better for you.
Ovaltine makes milk even better. Need fast itch relief? Did you know there's a cream that brings fast itch relief to irritating winter itch? A cream with 2 proven medicated itch fighters from a leader in itch relief for nearly 100 years. It's Gold Bond, maximum strength Gold Bond medicated cream, fast itch relief.
Frequent heartburn. Is it worse at night, especially after dinner?
Mm-hmm.
Have you treated it, even changed your diet, but still suffered 2 or more days a week?
Mm-hmm.
Has your heartburn been a persistent problem for you? Your heartburn may be due to a potentially serious condition called acid reflux disease. Ask your doctor about Prilosec. For many people, 1 capsule daily provides 24-hour complete heartburn relief. Ask your doctor about Prilosec and if it's right for you. The most common side effects are headache, diarrhea, and abdominal pain. Want 24-hour heartburn relief with 1 daily dose? Ask your doctor about the 24-hour complete heartburn relief that's possible with Prilosec.
Think you could be a Wall Street whiz, a market maven, but don't have the cash? Well, here's your chance to cash in. Join Fox Market Wire's Investment Challenge. We give you $500,000 in virtual money and let you play the market. If by April 16th your portfolio has the most moolah, you win. No, you don't get to keep the cash, but you do get this. Lincoln pays the lease on a Lincoln Navigator for 1 full year. So show off your street smarts and join Fox Market Wire's Investment Challenge. Sign up now.
When you've got a serious leak, it's time for Leakender 2000. It fixes any leak fast, no matter what's leaking. Just spray it with Leakender 2000, and in minutes, the leak is sealed. Look, we'll cut this garden hose with a knife, then shut off the water and spray on Leakender 2000. Minutes later, the hose is as good as new. The cut is sealed. Leakender 2000 is a unique compound that fills and seals any crack or separation as it hardens. Why put up with gushing gutters, dripping drains, wet windowsills, and rain-soaked RVs? Leakender 2000 stops all those leaks, and it's yours for only $14.95. Call now and we'll double your order. We'll send you this giant-sized can at no extra charge. Order now.
To order your Leakender 2000, have your credit card ready and call toll-free 1-800-571-2444. Or send check or money order for $14.95 plus $4 shipping to the address on your screen. Call 1-800-571-2444.
You take me down the Vine Street, stop when you hear the backbeat, and I'll sneak past the bouncer at the door.
In the Impact segment today, a reaction from the Democrats to Juanita Broaddrick's TV appearance. With us now is Democratic political consultant Joe Sorrell, who is a former campaign advisor to Al Gore and who just last night had a drink with the vice president. Well, we appreciate you hustling back here to L.A. from Baltimore, where you were.
And welcome to L.A.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, should Americans take Juanita Broaddrick's story seriously?
I mean, I'm one of those Democrats that you mentioned earlier when you talked to the Senate. I mean, I wish it would finally go away so we could concentrate on what we're supposed to be doing. The country, you said that the president is just, hanging out there back in Washington. It's because he does have an awful lot of distractions. Quite frankly, the more it seems, and I don't know why, but the more that these items keep on appearing, the president's popularity keeps on increasing.
Yeah, but this time it won't. But should Americans take a woman's rape charge, albeit 21 years later, seriously?
I have no desire to go after the woman. I have no idea who she is. But you just said it, 21 years. I mean, like where you been?
Well, she had an explanation, and the people can decide whether it was cogent or not. But look. As I said at the top of the broadcast, there's a bigger picture here. There's a bigger picture here of damage to the country. It's almost like a bad marriage. You can stay in the marriage, but the bad feeling mounts and mounts, and everyone in that family is affected by it. Right now, we have a bad marriage here because the president, maybe he is the most maligned man in history. It's possible. I don't believe that, but it's possible. But if he is not, then this is probably the worst president of the United States. If he did all these things, Joe, would you admit that? If he did all these things, he is the worst president of the United States ever.
No Democrat is trying to be an apologist for the president. Certainly not me. I'm not an old friend of the president. But we are in an era of the politics of destruction. I mean, I really wish, sure, I know that I have a reason I want him for political purposes, but I really wish we could go on with, running the United States of America.
Yeah, and I wish we could all have a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. But President Clinton is a man who has now polarized the country. And here's how I see it, and I think some other people see it the same way. We had the Jennifer Flowers thing, he lied about that. We had the Monica Lewinsky thing, he lied about that. Now, both of those were bad. Jennifer Flowers is just an affair, nothing else. The Lewinsky thing impacted on Paula Jones' right to a fair trial. But now we have a woman who comes out and sobs on national television that Bill Clinton raped her, the President of the United States, on NBC. I mean, just the impact.
I'm not a lawyer, but when one knows of a crime, they're supposed to really immediately report it, or else they're part of the crime themselves.
Don't say that, Joe, because you don't mean that.
No, but the question is, all of a sudden, did she see because Paula Jones made some money, maybe she can now make some money on it?
No, there's nothing in it for her. She came flat out on television, said she didn't want a book deal, she didn't want anything like that. If she turns, then I'm going to be with you on this. But it looks to me like something happened there. This woman hates the man. She said she hates the man. But to me, I can't dismiss it. I wasn't there, but I can't dismiss it because of what President Clinton has done in the past.
But what has this got to do with the presidency of the United States, to which he was elected in 1992 and reelected in 1996 and cleared by the United States Senate?
You can't have a rapist as the president of the United States. You absolutely can't have that. And I think you would agree.
I agree. I don't think it's the right thing to have a rapist, but I'm not so sure,
Well, if we were sure he'd be out of there, we're not sure. You're right. Now, it seems to me that Vice President Gore is distancing himself from Mr. Clinton in a very subtle way. He's there on policy. He's there when they call him. But there's not, I don't see Vice President Gore out on the stump saying, hey, my pal Bill is malign, leave him alone, this is not, I don't see that.
Bill, I don't think there's ever been a president and a vice president closer than this team. I've witnessed them all, and in some instances personally, going back a lot of years. I don't know how he could get any closer unless they were joined at the hip.
So he's still 100% behind the president, despite all of these things.
I was working for Hubert Humphrey, and he had some real problems with Vietnam policy, but he had a choice. Either I'm part of the team, or I have to quit the team. And he stayed with it, and it cost him a very narrow election.
And it may cost Mr. Gore the election.
The situation, and I'm trying to be about as objective as I can on this, the biggest asset the vice president has might be also a liability. I mean, but he has no choice. He's the vice president of the United States.
Well, he does have a choice. And I'll tell you, the biggest asset Vice President Gore has is if the economy stays strong.
Particularly here in California?
That's his biggest asset, right. The biggest liability he has is if President Clinton continues in this turbulent, polarizing vein, and people say, we need a change. And there's George W. Bush coming up. We need a change. We don't know, but we're fed up. And they just say, sorry, Al, we're going to go the other way.
I think one of the great fears we have is that there's all sorts of people around, including George W. Bush, who are saying, is it really worth it? I mean, they really want to go back and explore everybody's past over the years, from the playground and the sandbox right up to the president. I'm not so sure about that. I don't think it's healthy.
Well, I don't think we want presidents in office who are being accused of rape. And I don't say that lightly, because if this were an accusation that was totally unfounded, I wouldn't even give it any airtime. I didn't give the baby story any airtime on this broadcast, because
others did.
Right, but not many.
You didn't, and I know that.
Right, we wouldn't cover it. But now I'm seeing, first of all, I don't trust President Clinton, and for me as an American, if I don't trust my president, I'm not going to vote for him. Period. That's it. I don't trust the man.
You'll never have that opportunity again. I mean, he's out.
But why should I trust Vice President Gore if he is, and I know what you're saying, you got to be a team player to get the big ring. I understand that, but he's got to define himself away from President Clinton.
Oh, I think he has. I think he does that all the time, every day. As a matter of fact, he almost gets accused of trying to upstage the president. But I'm not going to allow you to say guilt by association.
No, I would never say that.
And you didn't say it, and I didn't mean to imply it.
And we are going to cover the primary here, and we'll have you back along the way.
Look
Joe,
forward
thanks
to
very
it.
much.
Thanks, Bill.
Okay. Plenty more to come as the Factor moves along from L.A. Dick Morris will assess the damage done to President Clinton. And then, race in L.A., one black minister says some African-American leaders are making things worse. We'll be right back.
A proper gentleman eats one cookie at a time.
But these aren't cookies. They're Newtons.
Oh, we can't be proper all the time, now can we?
A cookie is just a cookie, but Newtons are fruit and cake. And now Fig Newtons are better than ever, because they're moister than ever.
Whiz presents the 10 million thousand things we have to do every day. Locate stuff. Prevent osteoporosis. Conquer flab. Train dog. Pet husband. Control frizz. Remind kids of family infrastructure. Save the planet. Then we still have to do the laundry really well. Good thing Whisk has a targeted cleaning system. Now everything you wash gets done right the first time. Whisk. Do it once. Do it right.
Coffee? Sounds great. Let me just check my messages.
Hi, Mrs. Kane. It's Hill's Pharmacy. Your prescription is ready, and your total comes to $65.
Ooh, tell me that's more than one prescription.
Nope. That's how much just one of my refills costs. Our insurance doesn't cover prescriptions. What can I do?
Join the People's Prescription Plan.
A People's Prescription Plan membership card tells your pharmacist a lot. It says that for one low monthly fee, you and everyone in your household are guaranteed the best price the plan offers on all types of prescription drugs. New prescriptions, refills, injectables, and more. Plus, you can save up to half off the cost of eyeglasses and contact lenses. So get the lowest price available with the People's Prescription Plan. Call now.
Sue, just got back from the drugstore. I really did save with the People's Prescription Plan.
Call 1-800-714-3555.
Call now.
A cancer breakthrough. Find out about new therapies that are saving thousands of lives. Plus, listen up. It's all natural, it zaps fat, and it's all the rage in Europe. Get a jump on the Wonder Undrug, coming soon to a store near you. Sunday on Fox on Health. Fox on Health is brought to you by Walgreens, the pharmacy America trusts.
From the Friday to the Friday, from the west side to the east side, everybody very happy, 'cause the sun is shining all the time. Looks like another perfect day.
In the Unresolved Problems segment, how much damage did Juanita Broaddrick's TV appearance inflict on President Clinton? With us now is former Clinton advisor and current Fox News analyst Dick Morris, who is here in L.A. promoting his book, Behind the Oval Office, Getting Reelected Against All Odds. So it's a coincidence you and I meeting up here in L.A., but a good one. What do you think about the Broaddrick
First time
thing?
I've ever seen you out of doors.
I know, I'm a vampire.
Right.
But this is great. But what's your assessment of the Broaddrick thing?
Oh, gosh. First of all, you know, I could easily believe that Bill Clinton had an affair with Monica or with Jennifer Flowers. That was a no-brainer. But I had trouble believing that he actually groped someone like Willie in the Oval Office. I had trouble believing that he dropped his pants, crudely came on to Paula Jones, and I have trouble believing he raped anybody. On the other hand, all three of those stories sound pretty credible to me. He paid a third of his net worth to satisfy the Paula Jones suit. You don't do that lightly. And Broaddrick made a lot of sense to me. The basic thing, I think, Bill, is that Bill Clinton owes us all an explanation of where he was on April 25th, 1978.
But he's not going to give that to us.
Well, there's no reason why he can't.
But he won't.
His campaign schedules and that stuff.
Yeah, they
he
can't
was
find.
Attorney
Well,
General
NBC,
running
I
for
thought
governor.
NBC did a pretty good job. They tried to find. They narrowed it down that he probably was in Little Rock at the time, and they did a lot of other work that lent credibility. But you said a couple of interesting things. Number one, at first blush, you had trouble believing it. Is this because you believe Mr. Clinton isn't a violent fellow?
Well, he has his violent moments, but it's very hard to take someone who you respect and think is a pretty, I think is a very good president, and to think he's a rapist. I mean, it's like thinking he's a murderer. So that's kind of hard for me. On the other hand, this woman did not come forward voluntarily. She did not want to commit perjury, so that's why she said what she said. She said it in front of a grand jury. She's wealthy. She's not going to get paid for it. It's not a matter of that. So there are a lot of things that impel one to believe it. On the other hand, it's a very hard thing to believe that Bill Clinton is actually a rapist.
All right.
The one thing, Bill, is that if he did it once, he probably did it a bunch. And just like Kathleen Willey coming forward encouraged Juanita Broaddrick to come forward, there'll probably be another. They say Jane Doe number 5. This is going to be like the Super Bowl, you know, V, VI, VII.
Yeah, there'll be others.
You know.
But, you know, if you look at Mr. Clinton's pattern of behavior, and I think that's very important in this case, the man is a compulsive womanizer in my estimation. Would you disagree with that?
No, of course
Okay,
not.
he likes the ladies. And he is also...
Let's be frank about it. He is a sex addict.
All right, he's a sex addict, whatever that means. I'm not Dr. Joyce Brothers, so I don't know what that means. But I know that when he wants sex, he wants sex.
Right.
And once in a while, that treatment can go over the line with any human being. And that's what, you know, look, you go to the prisons and you ask a rapist.
No, it can't go over the line with any human being.
But,
The Attorney General of the state of Arkansas, running for governor, in the middle of a gubernatorial campaign, his first gubernatorial campaign, would have to be totally, certifiably out of his mind to rape a woman.
But I don't think he looks at it as rape. I don't think he looks at it that
And
way.
when he pins her to the bed, rips off her pantyhose, she's shrieking
Rough
no
sex,
and bites his
you've heard
upper
all
lip.
But he compartmentalizes in his mind all this stuff. Then you said, well, he owes us an explanation. He hasn't talked to the press on an open-ended basis in 290 days.
Right.
Why would he give us an explanation? We can't force him to.
That doesn't stop me from asking for it. I think that she made a credible enough case so that I'm like the kid in the Black Sox scandal. Say it ain't so, Bill.
He could sue her for defamation with malice.
Yeah.
He could.
Yeah, I think he's had enough of discovery, thank you.
All right. But I'm saying to you is, his silence, I believe, is a good political strategy. Now,
Yeah,
you're
sure
disagreeing with that?
No, sure it is.
Okay.
Sure it is.
Because he's saying to himself, I'm not going to answer any more questions about anything here. I don't care what they lodge at me. I beat it. All right, we'll have more with Dick Morris in a moment. And then some surprising comments on racial tension from a minister here in L.A. who deals with that every day. We'll be right back, and we hope you stay tuned as The Factor continues from Southern California.
Sunset Strip. There's so much going on. You can lose your grip. From early in the morning until late at night. They'll do you so wrong. They'll do you.
Fox News Now, I'm Joy Demandin. The verdict is guilty in Florida's racketeering and grand theft case against the president of the National Baptist Convention. But the Reverend Henry Lyons may appeal. His attorney spoke after Lyons was convicted of swindling $4 million from companies seeking business with his church organization.
I think it was a very difficult decision for them to reach. I think they did learn a lot about it. I don't want to say that if the composition of the jury were more ethnically diverse, we would have a different result. I think that would be unfair to this jury.
Lyons could get 7 years in prison. His alleged mistress and accomplice, Bernice Edwards, was acquitted, but both still face federal trial. Search teams in Norton, Massachusetts will resume their ground search in the morning in hopes of finding a missing 9-year-old boy. On Saturday night, a helicopter swept the search area with a heat-seeking device. The boy went outside to find his dog in a snowstorm on Thursday and hasn't been seen since. Ship traffic is moving again on the Mississippi. The Coast Guard had closed a 21-mile stretch of the mighty river after yesterday's tanker collision. The ship hit a tug, dock, crew boat, and some barges. It also spilled about 3,000 gallons of oil, which was contained by booms downriver. No one was hurt. And finally, more than 6,000 marchers paraded through the streets of Sydney, Australia Saturday for the annual Gay and Lesbian Mardi Gras Parade. The Gay Pride event brought out 1 million onlookers and tied up traffic for 6 hours. Somehow they escaped our cameras, but we're told there were lots of Monica Lewinsky lookalikes. Our next update is at the top of the hour. Coming up, racial tension in America. Find out why one reverend says African-American leaders are causing part of the problem. The O'Reilly Factor continues right after this break.
Oh, no. Not an offer for another credit card.
We've never gotten one like this.
What is it, made of gold?
Better. This one's a First USA Platinum Visa card.
Uh-huh, at a platinum price. I mean, how much are they talking about? $300, $400 a year just for the privilege?
It's free. No annual fee.
Well, what kind of interest?
Fixed introductory rate is 3.9% APR. Oh, that's the lowest I remember seeing. Maybe we should switch.
You don't have to be wealthy to apply for a First USA Platinum Visa card. Just responsible. Having one is a credit to the way you manage your finances. So don't wait. Call this toll-free number now. Imagine all the money you could save transferring your existing high-interest balances to our low 6-month rate. And how much you can continue to save when the rate goes to a still low fixed APR of just 12.99%.
We don't really need another credit card.
What we don't need is paying out all that interest on the cards we have now. Whoa, listen to this. A credit line up to $100,000. That's all the credit we need. And look, a year-end summary of all our charges, warranty manager service to protect our big-ticket purchases, up to $1 million in travel accident insurance.
Huh, $3,000 lost luggage protection, auto rental collision coverage. Hey, let's give them a call.
Call 1-800-608-7670 now and apply by phone for your First USA Platinum Visa card. It's your reward for your good money management. The low introductory APR is just 3.9%. Call toll-free today, 1-800-608-7670.
Imagine, us with a First USA Platinum Visa card. We deserve it.
They're giving us credit for our good credit.
How about some credit for my good idea?
Call this toll-free number now and apply by phone, 1-800-608-7670.
Saturday, join Judith and author Edmund Pankow for a little lesson in economics.
So do only criminals hide their assets and disappear, or do good people do it too?
Oh, we all have a little larceny in our hearts.
Take the money and run, Saturday, on This Evening with Judith Regan. Hey, how's Tricks? Could your pet make it in showbiz? Then, who will end up in the winner's circle? Highlights of the International Cat Show from Madison Square Garden. And he's helped his master over many hurdles. An interview with former diving great Greg Louganis. Sunday on Pet News.
From the valley to the valley, from the west side to the east side, everybody very happy, 'cause the sun is shining all the time. It's like another perfect day. I love LA.
Continuing now with Dick Morris. So, if you're in the White House right now and you watch the Juanita Broderick interview, what do you tell the president to do?
Shut up, hide, don't comment on it. The key thing is that NBC really, I think they gave a fair presentation, but I think they really hurt Juanita Broderick by delaying this until after the impeachment trial was over. They say they were checking the facts. Give me a break. NBC has a pretty good-sized budget. They could check the facts in 2 weeks. They don't need 4
Well,
weeks.
I'm going to give NBC the benefit of the doubt there. I think they did a nice job in putting things into context. But by delaying it, they hyped the story. They hyped the story. They're going to get a huge rating up against the Grammys.
It's got nothing to do with the hype. Had they done this in the middle of the impeachment trial, it would have been the story of the century. And I don't believe for a minute that Tim Russert, who is a sharp, good news guy and an honest guy, Democrat, but an honest, good news fella, that he in any way delayed this story. I think it was the corporate types.
Yeah, well, we
at NBC.
discussed that yesterday, and I agree with you on that.
Nice thing about Fox is that we're the only news channel owned by a news organization.
The News Corporation. But I disagree with you, and I don't think if this came out during the impeachment would have had anything to do with it. It wouldn't have influenced it because there isn't any hard proof. There is an accusation that I believe is credible, but I don't know whether it happened, and I don't think those politicians there, I don't think one Democratic senator would have changed his vote, even after listening to Juanita Broderick.
They would have had a hard time voting against her being deposed as a witness. They would have had a hard time voting against her testifying.
Then why didn't Starr push it more?
Well, because Starr is a lawyer. First of all, Ken Starr is a mix between Inspector Javert from Les Mis and Inspector Clouseau of Peter Sellers. And the Clouseau part of him, the bumbling idiot, said, oh, there's no perjury here, there's no obstruction of justice, so it's not within my purview. He did put it in the report.
He put it in the report, but you think he should have pushed it harder?
Of course he should have.
Yeah.
Of course he
All right, let's get to Al Gore because we just had one of Mr. Gore's advisors here, as you heard. Do you believe there's going to be residue on the vice president from President Clinton that's going to hurt him?
Yes and no. The sex stuff, no way, because people know that that's not Al Gore. It's such a personal thing for Clinton that wouldn't carry over. But Gore is making a big mistake, in my view. He is trying to be the vice president. He stands next to the president. He doesn't distance himself. He marries the president. He's always all over him, making a lot of announcements on behalf of the White House. And when he does that, he looks like the flag. You know, he looks like he's like Joe Lockhart. He's the president's spokesman. Nobody takes it seriously.
He looks like a flunky is what you're saying.
The flunky, exactly.
But that's what he is, and
So
I mean that with all due respect. The Democrats are saying, Clinton's saying, listen, Al, I need you to do this to be a good soldier, and you'll get your turn.
And you know what he needs to do? He needs to start talking about the issues that brung him here. If he's going to be president, he's got to talk about the environment, the environment, the environment. He's got to bring the technology, the passions that he has, the stuff that got him the vice presidential nomination in the first place.
But he's still going to be tied in.
The guy you had on before me, Sorrell, I think was his name.
Sorrell
used to be Humphrey's advisor, and Gore is making the same mistake Humphrey did. Instead of striking out on his own, not attacking Clinton, but talking about his own issues, his own areas of passion, he comes across as Clinton's flunky.
But
Flunky's just the right word.
I think he is trying to distance himself, but the Democratic machine is like the old Godfather thing.
Yeah.
I thought I was out, and they pull me back in.
Well, he shouldn't distance himself in any sense
Oh, I
of
do. I think he
criticizing
should.
Clinton.
I think
but what he should do is strike out on his own issues.
Look, by Vice President Gore being associated with President Clinton, tacitly he's approving of the president. And I think a lot of Americans at this point disapprove of President.
You know,
not the job he's doing, but the man.
Yeah. You know, I wanted to mention that to you. You said on the show earlier that his popularity goes up. It doesn't.
No, I didn't say that. Sorrell said.
His job approval is high.
Goes up.
His popularity's dropped from 69 to 41.
The only place they're going to throw him a party...
His popularity is less than his 92 vote share.
Right. The only place they're going to throw him a party, Dick, right here in Los Angeles.
Oh, I
They
assume you
love
didn't
him.
mean the set of The O'Reilly Show.
That's why we're up high, so that they can't shoot us.
That's
I was on KABC radio today, and the president is very well thought of here, partially because the media in L.A. is very friendly to him.
When Bill Clinton took office, he said the only important country is Russia, and the only important state is California.
54
he was
electoral
basically
votes.
right.
Yeah. Dick, thanks very much. Have
Great.
fun here in
It's good.
L.A., and we appreciate you dropping in. And up next, a Los Angeles minister on why race relations are not getting any better here. His opinions will surprise you, we promise. Back in a moment.
In the financial world, to survive, you must keep on the move. It is not a world for the hesitant or the timid. Sometimes, to defend against larger, fiercer competitors, your best choice is merger or acquisition. But beware, lest your careful, well-planned strategy should result instead in failure or doom. In these troubled waters, experience, knowledge, and size are your best allies. If you're considering strengthening your company through merger or acquisition, think first of First Union. Wherever you plan to go, we have been there before. Come to the mountain called First Union. Or if you prefer, the mountain will come to you.
$250? It's only a little scratch.
Here a scratch, there a scratch, everywhere a scratch. And they're all an eyesore. What you need is GS27 Scratch Remover. It's new from Duralube. GS27 gets rid of those surface scratches and paint swirls quickly and easily. Simply rub GS27 into the scratch, then polish it to a beautiful finish. The scratch is gone.
I still can't believe it was that easy. GS27 got rid of those scratches in less than a minute. It's great.
GS27 is not an abrasive. It's a superfine microscopic crystallite that works its way into the scratch and polishes it away. And look, you don't have to go crazy trying to match colors. That same tube of GS27 works wonders on any color car. You have to see it to believe it. Amazing!
The repair shop said it had to sand, prime, and paint. What a bunch of bull. GS27 took that ugly scratch away in no time.
Watch. Would you do this to a brand new car? Ouch! But GS27 removes that ugly scratch quickly and easily. What a difference! GS27 is so effective, it'll even remove paint scrapes, ugly rust from chrome bumpers, and scratches and scrapes from your boat's gel coat. GS27 is only $14.95. But wait! Order now and get a second tube for only $5. That's two for just $19.95. It'll remove those surface scratches from your car or your money back. Don't live with those ugly scratches and don't spend a fortune to remove them. Order your GS27 Scratch Remover now.
Call toll-free 1-800-429-9559 or send check or money order for $14.95 for one or $19.95 for two, plus $5.95 shipping and handling to GS27, 1000 Apex Street, Department GS, Nashville, Tennessee. Or call 1-800-429-9559.
In the back of the book segment, racial tensions in America. As you may have heard, a jury in Jasper, Texas delivered the death penalty to John King for the brutal, racially motivated murder of James Byrd Jr. But Jasper isn't the only city in America where racial tensions are running high. Here in the diverse city of Los Angeles, race relations are also testy, to say the least, as the O.J. Simpson trial and the Rodney King beating proved. But who is at fault? With us now is Reverend Jesse Lee Peterson, founder and president of BOND, the Brotherhood Organization of a New Destiny, a national nonprofit organization that helps inner-city families, of which the Reverend works on a daily basis. Now, it disturbs me that there is so much tension across the country between black and white.
Yes.
Can you put your finger on why?
Well, the first thing, Bill, is that the black family is destroyed at this point, for the most part. But the primary cause of racism in our country today is people like Jesse Jackson, the Reverend Jesse Jackson, and Maxine Waters, the NAACP, the Black Caucus, Louis Farrakhan, and Al Sharpton, and others. They have brainwashed black people. For the last 40 years, they have taught them to hate America, to blame their problems on white people. And now blacks are angry, and for the most part, not all of course, most of them are immoral and un-American. And that's why we're suffering. And until blacks understand that, it's not going to change.
All right, let's walk through this. The people you mentioned, Jackson, Maxine Waters, Sharpton, are heroes in many black communities. They have very big following. But you're saying that they're not doing good for the African American community?
They're only heroes because most blacks don't really see what's going on. When you're angry, you can't see very clearly. And so what Jesse Jackson and others do is that they keep them angry by telling them, you need affirmative action, you need welfare, you need program. And if they don't get it, they say, well, white America, the white man doesn't want you to have it.
Keeping you down.
And keep you down. And as long as you're angry, and whoever is controlling you with that anger, you can't see. The friend looks like the enemy, and the enemy looks like the friend.
Do you believe Jackson realizes what he's doing?
Absolutely.
So you
have to know it.
He knows it.
Let me show you a good example. With his family, they have a father and a mother. They attend the best schools, the best universities. His children are doing well. For the rest of black Americans, he offered them programs. He offered them the worst public schools than you can ever imagine. So if he thinks that he's doing the right thing, why don't he offer the black Americans the same thing that he's offering his family and himself?
But the rest of the population doesn't have the money that Reverend Jackson has for whatever reason. The Reverend's a millionaire. What is the solution for black America? What can African Americans individually do to improve themselves?
Good question. The first thing they're going to have to do is pull away from group thinking. Most blacks are not able to think for themselves. I mean, in Los Angeles today, we have a problem with illegal aliens, and it's destroying the black community in the finance area, in healthcare, in the community. They're being pushed out of their homes, but because Jesse Jackson won't say anything about it, nothing is being done about it. So they need to start thinking for themselves. They need to put the fathers and mothers back in their homes so that they could be the example for their children and not these so-called leaders of our country. They need to speak up and think as individuals, love what's right. You know, Dr. King was a good example of what we all should pattern after. Dr. King loved God, he loved America, and he loved the family. And he was a free thinker. And as a result of that, he set a good example for all of us. And that's what we must come back to.
Well, you're very inspirational, but are you realistic? Will African Americans break away from the pack thinking and reject immorality? Because that's the reason the family breaking apart. Alcohol, drugs, infidelity. You have to reject that. And it doesn't seem, and I'm broadly speaking here, but a lot of African Americans won't reject it.
You know, when we first started out 9 years ago, we were outcasts. We were called nigger, Uncle Tom, a sellout. That the white man is paying us off for standing up for what is right. And now 9 years have gone by, and we're starting to see many of the black people coming around. They're starting to think
well,
for
we
themselves.
have to have grassroots people like you, and I also want to amend my statement. It's not only African Americans, it's all people.
But it's too many of black people. 95% of black people support Bill Clinton, knowing that he's immoral, knowing that he's a liar, knowing that he's a lawbreaker. And the reason that they do, Bill, is because he is just like them. Well, he represents them.
And he also talks a good game. I think you have a shirt you want to give me here, Reverend?
Bill, you're the first white man that I've seen in a long time to stand up for truth. And so what we have done...
Well, thank you very much.
We need more like you. So what we have done is we want to give you one of our Bond T-shirts.
I will wear it proudly.
And say thanks for standing up for America.
Well, thank you very much, Reverend. It's very nice to have you. And I didn't know you were going to do this. This isn't a setup. You just walked in here with that. And I want to have you back on for continuing this discussion.
I would appreciate
I'm very
that.
And you know, most of all, I'm impressed that you work every day down in the trenches. Thank you very much.
You know, if they give up anger, they can get over the problem.
You're doing God's work. And next, we'll wrap things up with the most ridiculous item of the day and some of your mail.
It's a dirty car, but somebody has to wash it. Now, clean your car so fast it's like magic with the amazing new Shams Ami, the water-powered miracle car wash system. Watch. Attach any hose to the Shams Ami handle, fill with detergent, then power spin your car to that showroom shine clean. The soft, brushless Shams Ami head is so gentle it won't scratch your car's fine finish. Yet, the powerful rotating swivel head scrubs away dirt. The adjustable power head angles easily across the contours of your car. The secret is the gear-driven patented design that delivers a whirlwind of water power. So lightweight, it power floats the dirt away effortlessly. Switch from wash mode to spray mode for perfect rinsing action. Add car wax for that showroom shine. But that's not all. Shams Ami comes with a rotating power brush head to tackle tires, hubcaps, tar and grease, blast away bumper sludge, and insects ground into your grill. No job is too big or too small with Shams Ami. Power wash your deck. Power clean outdoor furniture quickly and easily. The amazing Shams Ami comes with not one but two extensions for a full 5-foot reach. Power clean your siding so it's spotless. Shams Ami even power washes your windows. Lightweight yet sturdy, you'll power clean the roof of your van or truck. With water-saving valve, you control the flow. Fantastic for hanging plants. It's perfect for boats. Cleans windshields, fiberglass, teak, and chrome. Swivel head and extension arms reach the toughest spots. Now you can own the amazing Power Pack Shams Ami for only $19.95. You get the powerful brushless swivel head, the rotating power brush, and two extensions for a full 5-foot reach. Order your Shams Ami today.
To order your Shams Ami, have your credit card ready and call toll-free 1-800-290-1700 or send check or money order for $19.95 plus $5.95 shipping and handling to Shams Ami, 6960 Eastgate Boulevard, Lebanon, Tennessee. For quicker service, call 1-800-290-1700.
On March 1st, Fox News Channel adds another powerful name to our prime-time news. Paula's On, starting March 1st, only on the Fox News Channel. Last week on Drudge.
You've spoken to Juanita Broderick. Did she seem credible to you?
She's not writing a book. She's not getting paid. She's extremely well off. She has nothing to gain except shame and embarrassment.
If you gotta know, you gotta watch Drudge. For information on Drudge, go to foxnews.com or look for Drudge on Yahoo.
Time now for the most ridiculous item of the day. Please allow me to say that you are smart to watch the national news on cable television, because if you just depend on local news, here's what you get. Page 1, New York Times, February 24th. The headline reads, GOP chiefs and president confer coolly. That's the New York Times. Here's the same story on the same day in the LA Times. Headline, Clinton GOP leaders meet in spirit of cooperation. Ridiculous? You decide, but we hope you continue to watch us for the real story. And finally today, the Mail, lots of different opinions, and we like that. Sharon Klussman, who lives in Evergreen, Colorado, writes, I believe Juanita. As something of a feminist, I'm angry at feminist leaders who are simply Clinton apologists. Cindy Andrews from Galesburg, Illinois says, why do so many Republicans want this persecution of the president to continue? I saw Mr. Clinton in person when he began his Covenant with America campaign. In my view, he's accomplished what he's promised. Evelyn Carlson says this from Littleton, Colorado. Juanita Broderick was believable and moving. She only reinforces my thoughts about the president. He should resign. Also, there was not one story about Ms. Broderick in the Rocky Mountain News. Ms. Carlson, thanks for pointing that out. It is very strange that some of the nation's biggest newspapers are refusing to report this story. Vicki Kennedy checks in from Akron, Colorado, and since I worked in Denver for 2 years, I'm very happy we have lots of viewers in the Rocky Mountain West. Anyway, Vicki says, I have long ago come to the obvious conclusion that the public doesn't give a damn about how many women have been used and abused by Bill Clinton. About our story on should Americans pay the bills of illegal immigrants. Elias Villarreal from Rio Grande City, Texas says, Mr. O'Reilly, I'm appalled that you would be so ignorant as to forget that our nation was built by immigrants. Most of my family were poor Mexicans. Many of us are now very successful. If you're not careful, you may be labeled a racist. Mr. Villarreal, I support legal immigration. It's vital to this country. But we cannot afford to open our borders to everyone. And you might be careful using the racist card. Fair-minded people know who is racist and who isn't. Gerardo Gonzalez from Kent, Washington says, O'Reilly, nice job handling the immigration discussion. It's an explosive issue, but we should not foot the bill for illegal immigrants in this country. Dan Kirby says this from Quebec, Canada. Mr. O'Reilly, look who's calling comes to Mexican immigrants, were your ancestors North American Indians? Robert Rodriguez, who lives in Switzerland, Florida, writes, I am of Mexican descent, but I still want our borders closed to illegal immigrants. Can you imagine if 25 million illegals poured into the United States? And on the subject of cliches, Laura Wilson from Auburn, California says, thank you, Mr. O'Reilly, for bringing to my attention the overuse of the words like and you know. I'm a Gen X mom of 4, and it is my responsibility to stop this in its tracks. And finally, Joyce McArthur, who lives in Adair, Oklahoma, weighs in with, Bill, I know your program is fair and balanced because you managed to make me mad, then turn around and say something I agree with. My husband does the same thing, and we've been married for 21 years. I hope the factor lasts as long. Well, thank you, Joyce. That's very nice. And if you would like to sound off, the email address is O'Reilly@foxnews.com, O'Reilly@foxnews.com. U.S. Mail, The O'Reilly Factor, Fox News Channel, 1211 Avenue of the Americas, New York, New York, 10036. And all together now, please include your name and town. We got a really good letter defending President Clinton, but I couldn't use it because it didn't have a name and town on it. And please check out our website, www.foxnews.com/O'Reilly, all lowercase, no apostrophe. Okay? I want to thank all the good people at KABC Radio. I had a good time there this morning, even though a lot of the callers didn't like me. And that is it for us today. As always, we thank you for watching. I'm Bill O'Reilly reporting from Los Angeles. Hope you see you again next time.
And it's one more day up in the canyon, and it's one more night in Hollywood. And for so long since I've seen the ocean, I guess I should.
Fox News Now, I'm Joy DeMandin. There's been another snag in the campaign to bring the suspected Lockerbie plane bombers to justice. America and Britain demanded Libya hand over the two men within a month for trial in a Scottish court. But now Muammar Gaddafi claims the World Court in The Hague should try them. The Lockerbie explosion and crash killed 270 people. Yasser Arafat is apparently still working towards his dream of a Palestinian state. Palestinian sources say Arafat and President Clinton will discuss the issue when they meet next month. It's one of the big problems that's stopping the Wye River peace agreement from being carried out successfully. A guilty verdict and plenty of drama at the trial of Reverend Henry Lyons. Before the verdict could be read, the defense asked for a mistrial because of an email message. But the judge decided to let the trial go forward. The defense wasn't happy.
It appears as though there was some validity to it, and unless someone out there has a crystal ball or some ultimate extraterrestrial powers that we don't know about, to say that they were struggling with the fact of convicting Bernice Edwards and Dr. Lyons, I think it speaks mounds of the fact that there certainly may be some validity to it, certainly some that's worthy of us investigating and looking into.
Lyons was convicted on racketeering and grand theft and faces 7 years in prison. He also faces a federal trial in April. There's an ad in top college newspapers seeking a tall, talented, and athletic woman, but it's not in the personals column. The advertisement offers a $50,000 fee for a special woman to donate her eggs to an infertile couple who wants a baby. Our next update is at the bottom of the hour, but first, he switched his political leanings and lost his friends. Hear the fascinating story of a renowned editor and critic, and it's all coming up next on This Evening with Judith Regan. Stay with us.
Good evening, I'm Judith Regan. Tonight we'll spend an hour with one of the most brilliant minds of the 20th century, the renowned former editor of Commentary magazine, Norman Podhoretz. From Norman Mailer to Allen Ginsberg, he tells us about the group of New York intellectuals who came to be known as the Family and why they are now his ex-friends. All that and more coming up in this hour, so stay with us.
And now, from our Fox studios in New York, it's This Evening with Judith Regan.
As he writes in the beginning of his book, I have often said that if I wish to name drop, I have only to list my ex-friends. He and his ex-friends were known as the Family, a group of New York intellectuals that included Norman Mailer, Allen Ginsberg, Lillian Hellman, Hannah Arendt, and Lionel and Diana Trilling. They were drawn together in the late 40s through the late 60s by a common interest in politics, culture, ideas, life. What happened to their friendships is, in many ways, the story of what has happened to America in the last half-century. It's a story of innocence lost, of the dangerous and destructive forces that took root in the 60s and the divide it caused. And it is the story of an era gone by, of lost friends, and the lost passion for intellectual debate. It is also a story of one man who honored his ideas and endured. He was the distinguished editor-in-chief of Commentary magazine for 35 years, and he's the author of numerous books and articles. His fascinating new book is called Ex-Friends, and his name is Norman Podhoretz. Hi.
Hi.
Welcome.
Well, after that, I feel not only welcome, but almost inhibited.
And should I say, he has a great sense of humor. Now, what happened? X, and look at the big X. I love this cover. EX, Ex-Friends.
Well, what I try to do in that book is tell the stories of how I became friends with a series of very notable literary and intellectual figures, most of whom were much older than I was, 25 years older, except for Norman Mailer, who's only 7 years older. How I became a member of this so-called family of New York intellectuals. I was the runt of the litter when I was adopted by this family. Except Susan Sontag, who's a little younger than I am, came afterward, but she never had as close a relation as I did. So how these friendships developed, they were all very intimate friendships lasting 10 or 15 years. They were all centered on a common culture that we shared.
Which
which had to do with a passion about the arts, particularly the avant-garde artists of the 20th century, and a passion about political ideologies, not politics in the normal Democratic Republican sense. One member of the family, Dwight MacDonald, incidentally, I like to mention him to refute the myth that is almost unshakable that all members of this family were Jews. Many were, but not all were, and Dwight MacDonald emphatically was not. Anyway, he once described the difference between Democrats and Republicans as Tweedledum and Tweedledummer. And that was the prevalent attitude among the members of the family. So we were interested in, or interest is hardly a strong enough word, we were passionately involved in the fate of the arts and the political historical currents flowing around them. And we engaged in almost daily argument, debate about these things of a kind that hardly exists anymore, or if it's going on anywhere, I don't know where. And a lot of this discussion went on, of course, in print, in magazines like Partisan Review and Commentary, which I later, as you mentioned, became the editor of, but also at parties. There were always a lot of parties. You were either giving or going to parties. Everybody drank a lot. This was mainly in the 50s I'm talking about. Now, nobody drinks anymore, but everybody drank a lot, and you were admired if you could hold your liquor, which, unfortunately, for my health, I did very well. Did a lot for my reputation, by the way.
What do you think of Mayor Giuliani's new rule that he seizes cars if you're driving while intoxicated?
I like Giuliani very much. I think this is a bit draconian, and I doubt it's going to work because whenever you pass a law that's too tough, where the punishment is disproportionate, it tends not to be viable.
All right, so this was during the 50s, and you were all of like minds?
Pretty much
politically?
so. Yeah, pretty much so. But even where we disagreed, our interests, we held interests in common, and the kinds of issues that we were interested in, and the kinds of books that we read and talked about the interest in those were confined to a very small group of people, not all that many people in this country.
This was before the Oprah Book Club.
Or before Oprah, yeah, and hardly anybody else in this country was interested in the things we were interested in. A lot of people in Europe were, and there was a connection, as you might say, with the main writers and intellectuals in Europe whose work was introduced through the magazines like Partisan, those I mentioned, Partisan Review and Commentary.
But then something happened to change all that. We're going to take a break. We're going to talk about your friends and what happened when we come back. Don't go away.
If you'd like to contact us here at This Evening with Judith Regan, you can do so via email. The address is regan@foxnews.com. We look forward to hearing your thoughts and comments on the show.
Gosh, you know, I just went to use the phone.
You say once you got back, your wife was gone.
Yes, sir.
Hello.
What?
Have you checked the hot enchilada?
Oh, no. Millicent gets terrible heartburn.
Not this time.
What's that?
Looks like the remains of one of those new Pepsid AC chewables.
Now the first chewable that stops heartburn before it starts. Great tasting Pepsid AC chewables.
Millicent? Is that you?
Start living heartburn free with new Pepsid AC chewables.
These days, seems like everybody's got a Cherokee or an Explorer. Me, I like to stand out a bit.
That's why I drive a Subaru Outback.
With a big cargo bay and all-wheel drive, you get all the sport utility you need. But with the smooth ride and better gas mileage, the Outback is far from ordinary. Like me, really. What a weird-looking bunch that was.
You've spent your entire life sleeping in an old-fashioned flat bed, but now you have the opportunity to find out about a better, healthier way to relax and sleep. Get this free information kit about Craftmatic adjustable beds. Call toll-free and a helpful operator will mail you a free Craftmatic adjustable bed catalog and this special rebate certificate. It's worth $200 off any Craftmatic Model 1 adjustable bed. Why is Craftmatic making this rebate offer? It's our way of saying thanks for taking the time to find out about Craftmatic. There is, of course, absolutely no obligation for calling toll-free and requesting this helpful information kit. So if you have any interest in adjustable beds, pick up your phone and call now.
Call toll-free 1-800-543-6800. That's 1-800-543-6800. Toll-free 1-800-543-6800.
Back with the author of Ex-Friends, Norman Podhoretz. I love this cover. Now, you write in the book, like William Buckley, I would rather be ruled by the first 2,000 names in the Boston phone book than by the combined faculties of Harvard and MIT.
Yeah. Right. Well, that attitude encapsulates, it's what you might call the locus classicus of conservative populism. As it happens, just at this moment, a lot of conservatives are changing their minds because they're so disgusted with what happened in the impeachment proceedings against Clinton, and they think the American people let them down by supporting Clinton. And every time Monica got another niche in what she called her presidential knee pads, his ratings seemed to go up another 10 points.
How do you feel about that?
Well, you know, I think he deserved to be convicted, but I'm actually relieved that he wasn't, because I think that to have evicted so popular a president from office would have injected even more poison into our political system than is there already, and we've got too much. Nixon, when he was forced to resign, had very low popularity ratings, 20% or something, even though he had been elected by a big landslide, much bigger than Clinton was. So it didn't disrupt the country in the way that I think kicking Clinton out of office would have done. Even though, as I repeat, I think he deserved to be convicted. He did commit perjury. He did commit obstruction of justice.
And what about Monica Lewinsky, who will make now millions of dollars on her book and her television?
Yeah, well, crime pays, you know. Sin, we always knew that. Now, well, sin seems to pay, at least in dollars. She's, I mean,
Nobody ever says that she committed a sin.
Well,
but she did.
Well, I think she did. You know, I don't know that she's that foolish valley girl that everybody at first said she was. I don't know anything about her, but I think that she was a kind of groupie who was aggressive enough to you know, land this big fish.
Right.
The president is a lot, you know, bigger than Mick Jagger. I mean, so she must have something. I'm not quite sure what it is.
Well, she was wearing a thong. I think that did it.
The thong helps, I guess. Yeah.
Now, with your friends, here you are sharing passionate debate, and something happens. What happened to change you?
Well, the short answer to that question is the 60s. I moved in the late 50s and early 60s to a radical position. I had previously been what they called a Cold War liberal, and I moved to the left. In 1960, I was 30 years old, and I became the editor of Commentary, and I pushed the magazine to the left. And modesty, I'm not famous for my modesty. It's not one of my great virtues or humility, but so I have to say I was one of the intellectual leaders of that new radical movement. So early on, didn't even have a name. It wasn't even yet called the New Left or the Counterculture. And our feeling was that the time was ripe for perfecting American society. There was a lot wrong with it, and we thought that conditions, economic conditions as well as political conditions, the thaw in the Cold War, were going to make it possible to perfect this country. We were utopians, in other words. But as the decade wore on and as this movement became more and more popular, infinitely more popular than I had ever dreamed it could become, and more rapidly so, it got infected not with a desire to perfect this country, but with a desire to destroy it. A kind of hatred of this country developed on the left. Used to spell the name of the country with a K to suggest an association with Nazi Germany. And I couldn't stomach what I came to call the anti-Americanism of the left, the idea that this country was so rotten that nothing could save it except a revolution, and that it was also the cause of evil, the main cause of evil in the world outside. I couldn't stomach it because even at my most radical, I loved this country. I loved it for what it had done for me personally, a poor kid from Brooklyn, child of immigrant Jews from Eastern Europe, sent me to Columbia on a scholarship and then to Cambridge University in England on a fellowship, then gave me a magazine to edit, allowed me to pursue my interests and talents and even make a living at it. So I was personally grateful. But, you know, the more I came to think about the criticisms that I myself had been making and the effect these criticisms were having on the kids, including my own kids.
I'm going to have to interrupt you. We're going to have to take a break. We're going to have more with Norman Podhoretz when we come back. Don't go away.
For the earliest delivery to the most international cities, call 1-800-PIC-UPS.
Head & Shoulders makes me worry less. I used to kind of be self-conscious about playing with my hair because if I was wearing black, then I would end up with flakes on my shoulders. Black's my favorite color to wear, so it could be a beauty secret. Head & Shoulders changes dandruff problems into beautiful hair.
That's the, Okay, so people don't always see eye to eye, but there's still one thing everybody can agree on. The Toyota Camry, a Consumer's Digest Best Buy and the #1 selling car in America 2 years in a row.
Tell me, sweetie, do you enjoy sleeping on the couch?
24 hours, 7 days. The most powerful name in news brings you the world. Fox News Channel, the power to bring you the people and places. From mega markets to emerging nations. Reports that make a difference. Power to cover the events that shape the planet. The global forces changing your life. The power of Fox News Channel. News and information, fair and balanced. The most powerful name in news, Fox News Channel. We report, you decide.
Vacationing in Arkansas. Take a relaxing drive through the mountains. Spend a day in art appreciation. Or just reconnect with nature. With all we have to offer your next vacation, how can we possibly show you everything there is to do in just 60 seconds? We can't. It actually takes several hundred photos, plus some great travel tips. We call it our free Arkansas Vacation Planning Kit. Get your copy by calling today.
Welcome back to the show. We're talking with the former editor of Commentary Magazine and author of Ex-Friends, Norman Podhoretz. And you were talking about loving America and what America has done for you.
Yeah, well, I was saying that even at my most radical, I loved the country because of what it had done for me. But I also, as I was rethinking the criticisms that I had made myself and helped to spread through commentary and the effect that the attitudes toward this country were having, both on the country itself and especially on the kids, and including my own kids and their friends. The easy attitude toward drugs, the easy attitude toward sexual promiscuity, the contempt for what we used to call bourgeois society or what now middle-class values, all of which were encouraging these kids to refuse to basically to grow up and take a responsible place in society. In fact, they were scornful of that whole idea. And
you feel that you had a great impact on that?
Well, I'm afraid I did, and I've spent the last 30 years of my life trying to undo the damage I helped to do in spreading the ideas and attitudes that influence those kids. Parents and teachers participated in that, of course, and are also at fault.
Was there a pivotal moment or experience that precipitated a change in your attitude?
Well, it was not anything like St. Paul on the road to Damascus, you know, with the lightning bolt that led to a conversion, but there were a series of episodes. I mean, I can tell you one story that's not in the book that involved my oldest daughter, who was then a student at Dalton, New York's most fashionable private school. And she was a member of a gang of 4 girls. All 4 of them were beautiful. All 4 of them were bright. She was the poorest of the 4. They all had money. They all had glorious futures. What happened? This was in the late 60s. What happened? One of them became a hopeless junkie, and I think is still to this day. Another was driven into a mental institution by drugs and has been in and out of mental institutions ever since. A third was raped and murdered by hitchhiking foolishly on some road in New Jersey. And thank God my daughter, who was a bit too timid, I think, to go as far as her friends were going, came out unscathed and is today the mother of 3 children and to the right of Genghis Khan. But the fact is, that's the kind of harm I was talking about. But in the larger political sense, I also began to rethink the attitudes I had grown up with, I'd been educated on, cut my teeth on, as most educated people and most intellectuals in this country for 100, 150 years had done. The contempt for this society as being defined as puritanical, repressive, oppressive, non-violent, non-viable, you know, it couldn't really last, Philistine, all of that I began to rethink those attitudes, and it more and more came to seem to me that this country was highly admirable in so many senses, and was based on a set of institutions that were precious and under assault, both from within by ideas and from without by the totalitarianism of the Soviet Union. What was this institutional structure that I'm talking about? It was a system based on the idea that the goal of society was to provide more liberty and more prosperity to more people than any nation that had ever existed. And we have actually achieved that goal. We are not a glorious...
At what price?
Well, there have been many things wrong with this country, though I think the power to rectify those wrongs exists within the system, as we've seen over and over again. The price is a very interesting question. The price is that we have not produced a glorious culture in the sense of artistic monuments, the way 5th century Athens or Elizabethan England did, or Florence at a certain period, or the 19th century Russian novel. Mm-hmm. Because the price they paid for this was living in a tyrannical society. So when historians, if the world goes on forever, look back on American civilization, I think they will see it as one of the great glories of human history from the socio-political, economic point of view, not from the point of view of its achievements in the arts. We haven't done that badly. I mean, we've got very good poets and novelists and painters, some better than good, though we do not exist on the very first rank in that area. And I think that's the price we've paid for achieving what no one else has achieved to anything remotely approaching the degree that we have in terms of not only creating wealth, but distributing it and bringing more and more people in to the possibility of a good life. That was the objective from the beginning: life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That's what they meant by life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
And what about family life? What's happened to family life in this country?
Family life is in trouble. There's a huge rate of divorce. There's a huge rate of illegitimacy, incidentally, not just among blacks, but also increasingly among whites. This is a very, very dangerous and frightening tendency, and it's, I think, probably the major problem that we confront. But I also think, begin to see the signs of, and by the way, I think these problems are a legacy of some of the ideas and attitudes of the 60s that I helped to spread and that I've been trying to
make up
undo.
for ever
Right.
since.
But I'm glad to say I see signs, not very vivid ones, but some signs of a change in another direction, backing away from some of the ideas and the attitudes that have led to these pathologies. You see it among certain young women who are...
a return to modesty, for instance.
Wendy Shelley's book, A Return to Modesty, Danielle Crittenden's book about what our mothers didn't tell us. These questioning some of the assumptions, some of the mistaken assumptions behind the feminist movement. You see it. I mean, New York Magazine, which I sometimes call Plague Central, not long ago ran a 20-page supplement insert on bridal gowns. Now, that tells you something. Mm-hmm, I mean, it tells you something about
people want to get
attitude
married again.
Toward marriage.
How do we turn it around? How do we get the family back together again? And not just the immediate family, but the extended family.
Well, you're talking about the family, not in the sense in which I use the word in ex-friends. You're talking about the family.
Family,
husbands,
which
wives,
would include,
children.
by the way, friends, because friendship has been put on the back burner.
But husbands, wives, children,
cousins, aunts, uncles.
Well, it's going to take work and time. I think that the problem was caused in the first place by ideas, not by conditions.
We're going to have to take a break, and we're going to have more with Norman Podhoretz, and we are going to get to his ex-friends when we come back. Don't go away.
Coffee? Sounds great. Let me just check my messages.
Hi, Mrs. Kane. It's Hill's Pharmacy. Your prescription is ready, and your total comes to $65.
Ooh, tell me that's more than one prescription.
Nope. That's how much just one of my refills costs. Our insurance doesn't cover prescriptions. What can I do?
Join the People's Prescription Plan.
A People's Prescription Plan membership card tells your pharmacist a lot. It says that for one low monthly fee, you and everyone in your household are guaranteed the best price the plan offers on all types of prescription drugs. New prescriptions, refills, injectables, and more. Plus, you can save up to half off the cost of eyeglasses and contact lenses. So get the lowest price available with the People's Prescription Plan. Call now.
Sue, just got back from the drugstore. I really did save with the People's Prescription Plan.
Call 1-800-714-3555. Call now.
Dream along with me.
He has had 148 songs on the pop chart spanning 4 decades, 50 top, 14 #1 hits.
Magic.
Now, Cornerstone Promotions brings you a classic collection by the great Perry Como.
Find a wheel and it goes round, round, round.
Diggity dog, diggity boom, what you do to me?
Don't let the stars get in your eyes, don't let the moon break your heart. Catch a falling star and put it in your pocket. No other love have I. It's impossible.
This special Perry Como collection is not available in any store. Here's how to order. Call this toll-free number now for Perry Como. 2 cassettes, $19.98, 2 CDs, $26.98, plus $4.95 shipping. Call now.
A cancer breakthrough. Find out about new therapies that are saving thousands of lives. Plus, listen up. It's all natural, it zaps fat, and it's all the rage in Europe. Get a jump on the Wonder Undrug, coming soon to a store near you. Sunday on Fox on Health. Fox on Health is brought to you by Walgreens, the pharmacy America trusts.
Fox News Now, I'm Joy DeMendon. In Norton, Massachusetts, search teams will resume their work in the morning in hopes of finding a 9-year-old boy. Corey Anderson vanished at noon Thursday after going out to find his dog in a fierce snowstorm. The pet turned up later, but Corey never did. His parents are hoping the 4th grader found shelter in a barn. One of America's top black ministers now faces 3 to 7 years in prison. A Florida jury convicted the Reverend Henry Lyons of charges of racketeering and grand theft. He was found guilty of stealing $4 million from companies seeking business with his National Baptist Convention. His alleged mistress and accomplice, Bernice Edwards, was acquitted, but both face federal trial. Lyons' lawyers say he may appeal. A change of venue for President Clinton. The president left sunny Southern California this afternoon following a round of golf with some Democratic fundraisers. The first family went to Utah for a vacation, skiing for everyone but the president in honor of Chelsea Clinton's 19th birthday. Her father, who doesn't ski, says he will read and relax. Ship traffic is moving again on the Mississippi. The Coast Guard closed a 21-mile stretch of the mighty river after yesterday's tanker collision. The ship hit a tug, dock, crew boat, and some barges. It also spilled about 3,000 gallons of oil, which was contained by booms downriver. No one was hurt. And finally, moviegoers are giving bad reviews for what's up at this weekend's box office. Ticket prices have gone up at theaters in 22 states. Lowe's, Cineplex, Odeon, and Sony raised prices, so they now average about $8. And in New York City, some theaters are charging $9.50. Our next update is at the top of the hour, but first, This Evening with Judith Regan continues right here on the Fox News Channel.
We're back with the author of Ex-Friends, Norman Podhoretz. Now talk to me about your war with Allen Ginsberg, the poet.
Allen Ginsberg and I met in college, Columbia. He was a senior, I was a freshman. I was an aspiring young poet. Like every young literary person, I began by writing poetry. And Allen published a couple of my poems in the Columbia Literary Magazine, for which I was very grateful. I was only a freshman. And we never became really close friends at college, and our ways parted, partly because he was older and partly because he got mixed up with a very rough and semi-criminal homosexual crew, and I was as straight as you could be. But some years later, I was quite precocious in my career, and I was a rising young literary critic when he came out with his most famous poem, Howl. And the Beat Generation appeared on the scene. And I wrote several pieces about the Beat Generation, and I didn't think any of them, except Allen Ginsberg, had much literary talent, and including Kerouac. So I wrote these pieces, and they were, of course, very angry and unhappy, and we had a session lasting 3 or 4 hours into the night in which they tried to talk me into changing my mind, which I didn't, and of course they didn't. I also refused to smoke pot with them, which they considered very square, of course. Anyway, as I was leaving, Allen said to me, "We'll get you through your children." And he didn't get my children, thank God, but he got a lot of other people's children later in the 60s. This was the late 50s. Over the years, I would run into him. I'd see him from time to time.
He was a member of NAMBLA.
Well, he became a member of NAMBLA, and that's what
North American
the Man-Boy Love Association, the pedophile.
Right.
Anyway, we had a long contention over a lot of things, even when I was a radical. And I was a different kind of radical from the one he was. And but I discovered later in life, every time he dropped some drug, ecstasy or some other, he would have a vision of me and have a fight with me in his head. And he later said I had become a kind of sacred object to him, because if I hadn't existed, there would have been no one he could beat his head against. And so he developed this, I don't know what, this obsession with me. I did not have a comparable obsession with him, and I think he did an enormous amount of damage. And the most discreditable and disgraceful element of that was his support of this pedophile organization, as well as his encouragement of drug use, and his encouragement of the kind of homosexual promiscuity that led to the outbreak of AIDS. But of all the people I write about in this book, he was the least close. He was a friend in the sense that, you know, we went back 50 years, and we'd had this great contention.
Now, you say in the book, I did not consider such behavior healthy, let alone heroic. Do you think that his influence was really that profound in terms of the effect that he had?
Oh, yes, I do indeed. I mean,
he was the Pied Piper?
Yeah, well, Pied Piper is a very good analogy. That's exactly what he was. And to this day, you know, they're reading Howl in colleges, and he's treated as a major American poet.
And romanticizing all of this aberrant
You know, I went to sign some copies of Ex-Friends in a bookstore, and there was a kid, very nice, sweet kid, who was bringing the copies for me to sign. And he said to me, "Did you really know Allen Ginsberg?" I mean, that was the main thing about me.
And you said profoundly. And on that note, we're going to take a break. We're going to have more.
That was the main thing about me that interested him.
We'll have more with Norman Podhoretz, and we'll talk about Norman Mailer and a few other people when we come back. Don't go away.
Stay tuned to receive your free trial version of America's #1 accounting software for small business.
Okay, folks, here's your business cards, letterhead, and my invoice.
How did you create this invoice?
With QuickBooks accounting software, I called the toll-free number and got a free trial version.
Wish I had time to learn new software.
It takes no time. Answer a few simple questions and QuickBooks tailors itself to your business automatically. And if you can write a check, you can use QuickBooks. QuickBooks makes it easy to see who owes you money and how much you owe. It also does invoicing, payroll, and inventory. Plus, you get customizable reports and graphs that puts you in control of your business.
To try QuickBooks free, call 1-800-714-3555 for your free trial version. Or if you also need time tracking, estimating, and project costing, then try QuickBooks Pro. Either trial is yours free for calling 1-800-714-3555.
That's 1-800-714-3555.
Look closely. Can you tell the difference between these two contact lenses? They're the same prescription, the same brand name, but this lens cost 50% less and was delivered right to my front door. That's the Lens Express difference. Great savings and great service. Hi, I'm Linda Carter. I wear contact lenses, and I wouldn't trust these eyes to just anyone. I call Lens Express and get my replacement contacts delivered to me the very next day. It's terrific.
Call for this free Lens Express catalog. It's full of savings on contact lenses. All the top brands like AccuView, Ciba, Bausch & Lomb, Wesley Jessen. And because they're sent directly to you, you'll save up to 50% off the retail price.
I trust these baby blues to Lens Express. Look closely, and you'll see one very satisfied customer.
Now you can replace your contacts as often as your doctor recommends and save. Call for a free Lens Express catalog.
On March 1st, Fox News Channel adds another powerful name to our prime-time news. Paula's On, starting March 1st, only on the Fox News Channel. Last week on Drudge.
You've spoken to Juanita Broderick. Did she seem credible to you?
She's not writing a book. She's not getting paid. She's extremely well off. She has nothing to gain except shame and embarrassment.
If you gotta know, you gotta watch Drudge. For information on Drudge, go to foxnews.com or look for Drudge on Yahoo.
We're back with the author of Ex-Friends, Norman Podhoretz. You write, amazingly, of Norman Mailer. And he called you a foul-weather friend?
Yeah, that was the highest compliment he ever paid me. And what he meant by that was that I was around whenever he got into one kind or another, trouble of one kind or another, and I always supported him, whether it was personal trouble or literary trouble. As a matter of fact, when we first became friends, his literary career was at a low ebb. He published this big bestseller, The Naked and the Dead, and then the next two of his novels had flopped. And it was at that point that I met him. And he was considered a kind of commercial writer, middlebrow writer by the intellectuals of the family. And I thought he had a lot of talent, and I wrote an essay about him that was published in Partisan Review, which gave him a kind of imprimatur, as you Catholics say, or Hechsher, as Jews would say, as a serious writer. And we became very close buddies. He's 7 years older than I am. But we were very, very thick for some 10 or 15 years. And then on the notorious night, a big party at his house when he stabbed his then wife and nearly killed her. He didn't mean to kill her, but he might have if that knife had gone a quarter of an inch in the other direction. He called me when he was in hiding for a day or two, and we went together to visit his wife in the hospital, and I went with him when the cops were there. They arrested him.